And we're back on the Pizza Podcast. Today, we got Peter Grippo of Brooklyn Square Pizza out of Toms River in Jackson, New Jersey. Peter is a native of Gravesend, Brooklyn, the town in Brooklyn that I fucking call home. And, yeah, it's great to fucking see you. I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Absolutely. Here, just put this punch away from your face. So what's going on, brother?
Nothing much. Working a lot. Working a lot. Yeah, no help. So
labor shortages, right?
Labor shortage. So I'm doing jobs that I don't mind doing to help, but I'm doing it because I have to do it, like delivering pizza.
Really?
Or answering the phones. It is what it is. It's crazy, but this era.
Yeah. It's I don't even know if it's going to get better anytime soon. I think it's I read a really interesting article the other day. It said that it was like America doesn't have a labor shortage. It has a cheap labor shortage because there's enough jobs out there where, and I read some other articles back in the day that like a lot of guys they got out of the business. They went into other things. You know what I mean? When the restaurants were closed.
Because a lot of people that did work pre-pandemic in the hospitality, like hotel, bars, bartenders, they work until 1, 2 in the morning.
Yep.
They're home now. Like, oh, wow, it's nice to be home at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, see your kids, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hang out.
See your friends.
100%.
So I lost a lot of staff to the apps.
Really?
So if you think about it, if you work for me or you work for you or your employees, they got to stay in the store. Usually they're making pizza boxes, doing whatever. And they have to be there either 4 to 9, 11 to 4, 11 to 9, whatever. But if they're home and they're on Grubhub, Instacart, DoorDash, Yelp, Grubhub, they get an alert. They either take it or they don't.
Yep.
So
100%.
It works to their benefit when they're working with us. They have to stay here all day, and they can play their video games and stay at home because this generation is not hungry.
No. They're not hungry. Well, they think they're going to get rich on other things. They think
TikTok,
NTFs.
TFs. That's a new thing I'm learning about.
Become a crypto investor. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But, it's different.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. It's a lot different. It's more expensive to live. Like when I worked for your cousin back in the day, I wasn't making shit. I think he was paying me like fucking $6.25 an hour or something. But
he was robbing you without a gun and a mask.
Yeah, but I had a fucking 2-bedroom apartment on West 8th Street. You know what I mean? It was, you know what I mean? I could afford to go out a few times a week. Like
times are different.
Yeah. It's hard to get a place these days and everything.
Kids are living with their parents longer.
Oh yeah. No, 100. Well, why move out?
No. Exactly.
If they let you have girls over, that's why I moved out. My father wouldn't let me have no girls over. He's like, "There's no girls coming in the house, bro. You want girls? You go get your own apartment."
That's it.
That got me out of the house real quick. So you're going through. You've been going through chemo, huh?
Yeah, I'm battling non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was diagnosed in June of 2016. I'm in remission finally. I had my last treatment last week. I'm doing well. I feel good. I mean,
you look great.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it was a rough ride, the ups and downs, but people tell me, how'd you do it? I mean, I don't know what I did. All I know is I just kept going to work.
I was going to say, like, when did you open Brooklyn Square?
So the Brooklyn Square headquarters is in Jackson, so I opened that up in 2013.
Okay.
And I was diagnosed in June of 2016.
So 3 years later, pretty much. Yeah.
And I was a busy store already. And then this first 6 months, the chemo was heavy. I was down. Look, I'm 260. I was 185.
Right.
No hair and all that. But I still battled. I got up. I have 3 little kids. I have a beautiful wife. She helped me get through everything, my best friend. But there was one time I didn't want to get out of bed. Woe is me. I was playing that role. You know what I mean? In the mind fucks you up.
Yeah.
Then through the crack of my bedroom window, I saw my daughter. And I says, you know what? And I saw her get upset. And I was like, I got to get the fuck up.
Right.
I got to get up. I got to go. I got to go to work. And I did it. January 2017, I opened my second store.
Wow.
In Manalapan, which I still have. That's my second store. My third store is Toms River, which I opened up in.
I didn't even realize it was one of Manalapan. Okay.
And then that's number 2. And then the third one is I opened up in October 2018 in Toms River. I had plans to open up more, but again, not to bring up the labor shortage again, I can't expand right now because I don't want to kill myself.
Well, yeah, you can't stretch yourself too thin.
I can't. So, I battled. I'm here. My doctors are great. I'm blessed. Right. I have nothing but great people in my life. So it's funny. Everywhere I go, I meet people. In 2017, I won #1 pizza from NJ.com, the Star Ledger in New Jersey, #1 pizza. That put me on the map. Then Dave Portnoy just blew me up.
Yeah. You got a monster score.
He gave me an 8.9 on a square. Yeah. And 13-minute video.
I think that's the highest square score. Yeah, ever. Yeah.
Ever. And so now everywhere I go, I see people. And everybody, before they even say anything to me, they're like, how you feeling? How you doing? Right? So that's cool, right? So I told my wife, I got more people praying for me than the Pope. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing everybody asks. You're doing good. I love your story. And it's great. It's good to be loved. You know that.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I mean, you really, I remember coming across you on Instagram. I didn't even realize you had a place. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I remember you from Peter Pizza back in the day, and I was like,
Brooklyn days.
Yeah. So, how'd you get into the pizza industry in the beginning? Like, how old were you?
Let me tell you my story. I started with my uncle. I started at Chicho's Pizza.
Oh, I know. Yeah, of course.
West 5th Avenue, Gravesend.
So he's Chicho's is related to Johnny too, or no?
Yeah, we're all from the same town.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
okay. Johnny's father, my father, my uncle Chicho, they all grew up together. And I'm from Caggiano. It's a Providence town of Salerno.
Right.
Like 70 miles south of Naples, but bro, we're at 880 meters above sea level. We're in the mountains.
Right. Yeah.
You got to stop. Our traffic is the sheep crossing the road. You know what I mean? So I was hungry. I was 16 years old. You want to work. I wasn't driving yet, so I would work, started on the weekends, prepping in the back, learning, cutting cheese, everything. When I got my license, then I was delivering. I wound up staying there like friggin' 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I learned he was a tough man to work for, but he told me the good and the bad of the business. He told me how not to be him in certain ways and to be him in other ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's the most important
lesson. Not to use that Chaz Podmatera, you give anyway. So I worked there, and then we finally had a dispute, an argument in June of 2001.
Okay.
I said, fuck this, I quit.
Right.
And I said, I'm not doing this no more.
And you were making pizzas at this point.
I was doing everything. Yeah. Pizza, prep, deliver. Yeah. There was one on Mondays because back then it was different, it was slow. I'd make the dough, cut the cheese, make the pizza, cook the pizza, box it, cut it, and deliver it.
Yeah. That's it.
Those days were different. And then I went on my own. But after I quit, I was like, fuck this business. I'm done. I'm not doing all these hours. I tried to go work for the phone company. I failed the test. And then my wife at the time was my girlfriend, not even my fiance yet. She's like, why don't you just try going on your own? Do it. And I was tight with money,
Mm.
I didn't want to go to my mother, but I winded up going to my mother and my in-laws. They gave me a few dollars. I started it. Man, that was August 27th was my grand opening in 2001, 10 days before 9/11, which that was I was like, holy shit, now what, But I wound up staying there for, I sold it in 2014. So I was there 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
Because then I opened up.
Where was it exactly? It was
on Stillwell Avenue in Asia.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
But I also, I opened that
right
up.
Right next to, close to L&B, close to.
Right down the block.
What's the sandwich shop right there?
John's Deli.
John's Deli, famous
Correct.
place.
The big bagel store there too. Then I opened up for a minute. Actually, no, I was there for 4 years. I was in Coney Island.
Oh, really?
I was in Keyspan Park next to Peggy O'Neill's but it was seasonal. I thought I could make it there all year. I thought Coney Island's coming back. I got there too early.
Yeah.
So I sold that in 2008, kept Peter Pizza, and then in 2005, after I got married in 2003 to my wife Susan, we wanted to buy a house. We can't afford anything in Brooklyn.
Right.
Her sister lived in Jersey. We used to go out every weekend, bro. It's mint.
Yeah.
You got a fireplace. You get to Brooklyn, no traffic. You don't have to parallel park, no meters.
Yep.
Like right now, getting here, I had to circle your block like 10 times to find a spot.
I know, it's crazy. We if I pull up this late on this block, you know what I do? I just double park the car, and I'll go out every once in a while, see when a spot opens up. That's how you got to do it.
You got to worry about getting a ticket. You don't have that in Jersey.
Well, we don't have tickets on
No,
this
really?
block. Nah,
Oh, you guys are good.
Nah, the cops don't fuck around
Yeah,
over
look
here.
at this guy's
You know, the
good.
meter maids, they'll come out. No, these guys get fucking mad on this fucking block. They'll fucking start rioting, bro. The cops stay. Yeah, they don't come around.
That's so good. You got good guys then. But so then I ended up moving to Jackson, New Jersey in 2005. So for 8 years, till
You were commuting from Jackson.
bro, 7 days a week. That's 3 hours a day,
Jesus.
going and coming. Gas, tolls. I mean, if I was
Yeah.
doing it now, with the gas prices now.
Forget about it.
So we bought in 2005. My wife was pregnant. We bought in February of 05. My son was born my son Peter was born April of 05. We moved in June. Next thing you know, we got 3 kids. That's it. I bought pajamas. No more. We got to watch TV. So you're popping out kids.
Yeah,
I had 3
yeah.
kids in 4 years.
Jesus.
There were nights I would sleep on my mother's. I was tired. She was staying home with 3 kids alone. She's like, make long story short, she's like, listen, either we sell the house or open up out here,
Right.
you know? Open up in Jersey, meaning. So you're close to home. You could come home. But I was afraid to open in Jersey because
Really?
I'm a little different. I don't put toppings on my pies.
Yeah.
My signature pies come as is explained on the menu.
Okay.
I'm a little more expensive than the next guy for Jersey, and I didn't know. So one day I was on Craigslist in 2013, February 2013, and I see this place for sale. Oh shit, it's in Jackson. I knew the place. I went to go look at it. I met with the 2 old Italian guys off
Right.
the boaters, you know? So we start talking. He gave me a price. I said, fuck, I lowballed him. Man, what are you going to do? It's business, right?
Yeah, of course.
Get the fuck out of here. You people from New York, you think you know that? She threw me out.
Right.
If he was asking 100, I think I offered him 25.
It's probably what it's worth anyway.
But yeah, it was.
Well, you're not buying his fucking business.
no,
you
it
know
was
what
dead.
I mean?
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
gonna come in with my own name.
Yeah.
So-
you think the baker's fried ovens are worth fucking 100 K? Get the fuck out of here.
10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
So 2 months later, I get this. I never answer my phone if it don't have a name. So I get a phone call, but it had a 732 area code. That's where I'm from. I said, let me answer. Maybe it's, who knows who it is. I answered it. It ended up being that guy. Hey, Peter, how are you? Who's this? He's like, it's Angelo. Okay, we got a deal. I said, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Who is this? He goes, the pizzeria in Jackson. I said, yeah?
Yeah.
I says,
For the 25.
yeah, actually he said 35, to be honest with you. So I says, let me call you back. So I call my wife. I go, Sue, remember that guy, blah, blah, blah? She goes, if you don't fucking take the place, I'm leaving you. Straight up. Call the guy back. I said, I'll meet you there tomorrow. Make long story short, I took it over. By July of 2013, I was officially open. But I changed the name.
Yeah.
I didn't go out there as Peter Pizza. That's my nickname. Like everybody calls me Peter Pizza.
Right.
So I said to Sue, I said, I think I'm going to change the name. She's like, why? You've been Peter Pizza your whole life. You know what? I says, I'm known for my square pies, right?
Yeah.
Even in Peter Pizza, I made a decent living. There's so many from Brooklyn. Monmouth and Ocean County is filled with Brooklynites. I said,
Yeah.
And now you know the way we are. You want to call yourself fucking Brooklyn? You better be Brooklyn,
Right.
You know? So I was prepared for that. So I said, let me call myself Brooklyn Square Pizza. So people that are from, this guy's calling himself, bro, let's go check him out.
Yeah.
Let's go abuse him if he's not. But it worked.
Right.
Thank God, because I have a great product. Thank God it worked. And next thing you know, by the 3rd week in business, we were cranking. It was great.
Bro, I mean, I think that's one of that whole entire area of Monmouth and Ocean County over there is because everybody's moving there. Like everybody that lived in Central Jersey, all these Italian guys, they're all moving there because you go to Bridgewater, you go to Edison, you go to these other towns in Jersey. There's nothing going on anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? Down the shore, even in the winter, it could be freaking 0 degrees. It's a band playing. There's this going on.
There's people everywhere. I mean, from Point, Long Branch. I mean, you name up and down. Seabright, up and down.
Yeah.
And now in the last 10 years, more and more, like you said, New York is, especially now in the pandemic. I mean, you can.
Oh yeah.
People getting 80 to 100 to 200,000 over asking price selling their homes in Jersey, and it's all Staten Island Brooklynites.
Yep. 100%.
But it's not just pizza. You got my friend John Lavoti, who opened. He's got now 4 Salamarias, the old school Italian deli. He's let's say like a Top Tomato.
Yeah.
Fucking huge.
What is it called?
Lavodi's Old World Market. He's
Okay.
from Brooklyn. You got a lot of people. Crispy's out there from Brooklyn.
What's his name? The pasta Pastosa
is out there.
Pastosa's killing it, and then there's that other place. There's another in Point Pleasant. It's like another
Oh,
kind
Joe
of
Leone's.
Leone. Bro, I walked
Hats.
in there. They were selling, was it the Sonia Toscano tomatoes that are $20 a case for $20 a can. And getting it. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
And getting it.
And they were getting it.
Same in Lavodi's. You walk in there. I'll show you pictures. You get a quarter watermelon just because it's wrapped in cellophane, $15. I'm like,
yeah.
no, John, you ain't getting it for me. But good for him. It is.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So with that being said, so with all the New Yorkers coming out, there's a demand for what, everybody wants to feel like their childhood. So when you came to my store, you bite into pizza, you got reminisce. Even the old timers, the 67-year-olds, whoever. We start where you from? I'm from Gravesend. Oh, I'm from Bensonhurst. I'm from Bay Ridge.
Sure.
You start. Then you get the guy. Oh yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah, I moved out when I was. I moved second grade. Bro, you're not from Brooklyn. You gotta finish fucking high school in Brooklyn. Then you're from fucking Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to spend your formative years.
You gotta get beat up, smacked, attacked, all of that.
All that's gotta happen. All that's gonna happen first. So, I mean, obviously, short day's a good move. What, like, at Peter, like, the neighborhood's changed a lot. Like, Gravesend, right? Like, I go back there, I'm almost, like, sad. Like, I took...
Nothing against the new immigrants. They're just different.
No, it's just not the neighborhood it was. You know what I mean?
So that's when people say to me, hey, do you miss the neighborhood? I say no. If it was the old neighborhood I grew up with,
you miss the neighborhood it used to be.
Yeah, but it's not my neighborhood no more. Like, I walk down Avenue U, I don't fucking know anybody.
No, you don't. Well, that was the thing. Like, I mean, I feel like I got there like at like the perfect fucking time. Like when I moved in that neighborhood where it was like the last hurrah, and it was, you would go down Avenue U and. Bro, even on a Monday, as long as it wasn't freezing cold, like 2 a.m., there's fucking guys hanging out,
the
like
cafes,
at all the cafes,
all the bars, but that they're all gone. Bakeries,
they're all gone.
There's no. The only thing left on the Avenue is Chicho's is still there. It's owned by my friend.
Still there.
My cousin sold, a friend of mine.
Joseph Avenue U is still there.
Joe's Focacceria is still there. Parnell Special, the Vasted, still great. Joe's Bar is still there.
Joe's Bar is still there.
And Elegante Pastry Shop.
Yep.
Which is still great.
And L&B's over there still. John's is there.
Yeah, L&B's different. They're still there, absolutely, and they're doing great. God bless them, phenomenal.
But you can't go in and there's not people hanging out. That's the thing. Like just because there's a spot doesn't mean it's a neighborhood. It's kind of like. I don't want to compare it to like Arthur Avenue, but like nobody lives on Arthur Avenue that like runs business on Arthur Avenue. You know what I mean? Like
when we were growing up, you walked into the bakery, you'd see somebody people hanging out there.
You could hang out all fucking day.
Next to where you worked on my cousin Johnny's place, you had the cafe next door all the time.
Yep.
Sipping espresso, bullshit.
That's where I used to hang out. That's why I never made it to Chichio's. It was too much. It was too much in between.
Yeah, exactly. But with that being said, that's what's missing. That's the only thing missing in Jersey.
Yeah.
We don't have like something like that. That's I would love to open up like a social club, like old school, because there's so many of us, and even the Jersey people guys
just to hang out.
Just to hang out. Like
I've been saying that for years,
cards,
like over in Williamsburg. Yep,
yeah, just like an old school, non-gangster shit.
No gang. Well, you don't need any of the gangster shit.
Those days are over.
Yeah, those days are over.
But just to hang out, you play cards, a nice rummy game, whatever. Just that's the only thing missing. Like now you got to go, Applebee's. You can't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It don't compare.
My buddy Luke Creasy, he's like, oh yeah, we go to Starbucks and hang out. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Starbucks,
it's basically any cafe in Italy is a Starbucks, right? Have you been to Italy?
Oh yeah.
So you go in any cafe in Italy that's where he got the idea. God bless him.
Well, yeah.
You go to a cafe in Italy, they have espresso, they have little sandwiches, right? Same shit, bananas.
Yeah, they just figured it out how to do it. They also taught people like they taught people, which nobody thought was possible, to spend $6 on a fucking cup of coffee all fucking day.
Imagine.
Can you fucking believe it?
Imagine, just because it has wrapping paper on the cup.
Yo, people, and it's everywhere, bro. My wife.
He's another Brooklyn guy, but.
Who?
The guy who started Starbucks.
Is he?
100%.
Really?
He's the CEO's. I don't know if he retired, but the guy who started Starbucks grew up in Canarsie.
Get the fuck out of here. I had
Howard
no idea.
Schultz, maybe his name is something like that. I got to look him up. You could Google it.
I had no idea.
He's from Brooklyn.
Wow. So, yeah, since we're on the topic of the old neighborhood, like, what was it like growing up over there? Give me some stories.
I mean, I was.
There's a lot going on.
It was great, man. Think about it. Everybody knew you. Not like Cheers, but everybody knew your name.
Yep.
You were safe. You got into a beef with somebody, you go to the bar, you go to the bakery. It was just great. It was just we all. So every block had a different crew. And the main crew was the Avenue crew. That was the crew I was with. The Avenue boys. We hung out in the square every night.
Yeah.
Growing up, drinking, but not getting rowdy. It's just different today.
Yeah.
No drugs. I mean, we smoked a little weed.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy like today. But I would work till 9 o'clock, go home, shower real quick. I was on the square by 9:10.
Yeah, just hanging out.
In the summer, jeans, t-shirt.
The square. What was the guy Vinny's Pizza Park?
Pizza Park.
Yeah, right. That square, right?
Right across the street. It's actually called Lady Moody Triangle.
Lady Moody Triangle.
We
Yeah.
called it the square.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's the square.
Yeah.
And that's another pizza. It's still there too, Pizza Park. I don't know who owns it, but we hung out in there. That was our,
Yeah.
That was our bathroom.
I think I don't remember if it was he gave it to the Spanish guys
Manny.
or. Yeah.
And he was there forever.
Or so, and I think there was another story I heard where when Johnny's Pizza went out and they turned it into the Spanish place, it was those guys. It was the guys that were working at Park. I don't know though.
Remember. That old Johnny's Pizzeria still is a Spanish place.
It still is a Spanish place. Yeah.
And then there's another pizzeria over there. N&D opened up over there.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Albanians is.
Oh yeah. They definitely. So when I was on, when I opened up on you and Bachelder back in the day, there was an N&D right on the corner over there.
Yeah, and that was originally owned by Danny Surge. It was N&D stood for Nancy and Danny. Sir, S-U-H-R-S. He died 9/11. Right. He was a fireman. I think the father. What was a priest? A body fell on him, and that's how he died.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a body fell on father. One of the FDNY chaplains. Don't hold me to it. 20 years ago. And as they were picking up the father to bring him into that church right over there,
right,
they got hit with bodies, and that's how they died.
Jesus,
that's a story I heard. Yeah,
oh my God! Can you
that was a story.
Imagine?
I think don't hold me on exactly, but I remember. And he owned N&D Pizza, and maybe the wife sold it afterwards. I'm not sure. But and then there was the other pizzeria by you, wasn't there? Original Pizza was by you too, right? Across you from Brendan and Carr.
Yeah, no, that closed down. So that was the guy. I think that had closed down by the time I opened. Like something had happened to that place, and then there was it Knapp Street Pizza was down the street. They do a monster business. Like nothing against them, but that pizza was trash. Like I never, but I respect them because they did, and I couldn't understand it at first, but it taught me like a really valuable lesson.
Right. It was right down the block for me.
It was right down the block for me. But the thing that they had, that I walked out of the business like knowing was when you ordered, it was there in 20 minutes. They had 12 delivery drivers. It was there in fucking 20 minutes.
He was a tough owner. Tommy.
Tommy, yep.
He didn't give a fuck if you made money. You know what I mean? So, if you have 12 drivers, they can't make money.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll make decent money, but 4 drivers, they're killing it, right?
Yeah.
He didn't care. He cared about the customer. Like Chinese food, you hang up, it's there.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we wanted it.
That's what it was.
But it was more commercial pizza. Not Tommy.
Very.
I'm sorry, but
hey, man, it's not that hard to make good pizza.
Anyway. He's not.
He probably did. Like he was getting older, I think, at the time. But he was running Garrettson Beach. Like that, every single person in Garrettson Beach ordered from him, and that's a funny town in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Garrettson
Beach rats.
Yeah, man.
There's another place down there. It was Victoria Pizza.
I don't remember that one.
That was on Garrison Avenue.
I do remember that. Deep into there, over there. So, making the transition to Jersey, and obviously it worked out good. No, so did it take a little bit of time, or was it kind of instantly?
So I opened up July, I think 8th or 9th, 2013. It was a Monday. Opened up first week. Friday's pizza night. It was okay. Second week, whoa. Third week. the third week, my third Friday in business, my best friend's getting married. So now what the fuck am I going to do? I can't close, right?
Right.
So thank God my manager who runs my Manalpa, so who we've worked together at Chicho since '91, he actually was working at the time, Nino's Pizza downtown. And he took the Friday off and came to help me out. So that was the third Friday. He calls me up. He's like, yo, you fucking left. This place is rocking. I go, you kidding me? He's like, yeah. This is before I had the POS where I could check everything. You know what I mean? The next Friday, whew, God bless. I really had to start. It just, yeah, and I wasn't even delivering. Because I lived in Jersey, but I don't know, street. You know, Brooklyn's easy. It's a grid.
Yeah.
If you go to 2014 West 8th Street, you know it's a 20th letter. It's between U and T. You know, it's,
Sure.
Man, you got to go to fucking Apple Tree Road. Where the fuck is that? You know? Shit like that. It's all different.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, like, I mean, obviously, when you were running, like, right, you tell me if I'm right or wrong, but, you know, you were doing it, you know, somebody would call, you're on a piece of paper.
Still
you know
am.
what I mean? You still are.
Still are.
I thought you have a POS now.
I don't use it. I can't. I'm fucking still pen and paper.
Really?
I have the 2-ply, so
Okay.
we take the whole order. If it's pizza, stick it up. Just if it's pizza kitchen, the other piece goes in the back.
I feel like
goes
I'm
in the
talking
front.
to your cousin right now.
Yeah, same
So,
old.
by the way, we keep on mentioning Johnny. Shout out to Johnny Sprockets.
Johnny Sprockets, my man.
Johnny is one of my pizza mentors, and from back in the day, and he owns Il Fornino.
No, Il Forno on
El
Amboy Road.
Forno on Amboy Road in
Staten
Staten Island, New York.
Staten, Italy.
Staten, Italy, yeah.
I went to go visit him maybe a month ago.
Yeah, I think I saw that on
see
Facebook.
him.
That was nice.
Yeah, he's great. We have a family.
Yeah, no, of course.
That's the problem with this business. There's too much jealousy. There's
Yeah.
enough to go around for all of us.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
I wish I could start a pizza union. You know what? Enough with these $7.99 specials, this, that. Fuck it. One price all across the board.
Yeah.
I don't know how these guys do it today with this right now with these prices, inflation.
I mean, if you got a good product, people are willing to pay.
Exactly.
That's it.
But same as me, same as you. If you go out to dinner somewhere, if it's not forget about pizza. You go get a good steak. If it's good and it's expensive, but it's good, the service is great.
You're gonna go.
You're not, and you don't mind
You know
paying.
what I
So
mean?
that's why I was afraid with my prices. But meanwhile, people get it. You know,
Oh, no,
I
they
use only
100%
fresh
get it.
mozzarella. You know, Italian tomatoes. So, you know, you want my pie's like 3 pounds of dough.
Yeah.
It's fucking heavy.
No, 100%. It's like the time and the fermentation.
Even my
you put
sandwiches,
into it.
my bread comes from Il Fornaretto on 17th Avenue.
Okay.
I get my bread delivered every day from Brooklyn.
Wow.
Fresh. It comes all 3 of my stores.
That's another thing that I think with rising labor costs that, you know, we're going to have to transition into is like, I think the next set of places that open up, you're going to either have to have a bread program in there or you're going to have to like have a bar and like a bigger footprint or something like that to like mitigate the labor because I don't think it's going down, bro. Like,
No.
I think pizza guys, I mean,
And even
they're
pizza
going to
guys, there's not many of them.
No, and none of them are willing to work for nothing. If you find a good guy, they're making $23 to $30 an hour
Which I
all
don't
day.
mind paying. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, because you know I don't mind. But that's my fear of expanding.
Right.
You know, where's that next generation? Even
Right.
the Spanish people, our people ain't making it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
They don't want to do it.
Some guys are coming back. There's like, you know, I'll tell you, for as much shit as I give them sometimes, but like these, you know, and it's nobody specifically, but you know, these kind of like hipster pizzerias like Roberta's and all these other spots. The thing that they really did great, I mean, they're master marketers. They build up gorgeous locations. They do, you know, a decent product at most of them. But the one thing that they figured out is a lot of them won't even hire pizza guys.
So who's making that pizza themselves?
They teach them.
Oh,
They hire a guy
and teach
who
them from
wants
the
to
bottom
work, and they teach them from the bottom up.
That's hard
And
too.
it is, but they mastered it.
Yeah, well, I guess they have because you could put all that time in and the guy sucks.
Well, yeah, what they do, what I do now, if I gotta teach a person from scratch, is I'll just buy like some cheap flour, like whatever I could get. You know what I mean? And you know, I know flour's gone up, but
It has gone up.
what's a bag of All Trump now?
24.
All right, so $24. Sorry, I mean it was 17 not too long ago, but even at
It's
24,
going up to 30.
even at $24 though, I buy 10 bags, cost me $240. I got 600 pies out of that.
Easy.
If I scale it down like a little bit to be like a 16
just let
inch,
them play with
I
it?
might get All right.
You know how I learned? How my uncle taught me?
How?
Fucking reg.
Yeah.
Play with the reg.
That's how I learned how to spin. Play with the rag.
Play with the rag.
Yep.
And then transition to the pizza. Stay away from the middles. Don't.
Right. But it was a slow process. It was
Yes.
like you do
Yes.
one or
Maybe
two
your
doughs
way
a
is
day.
absolutely fast.
Yeah, I don't have like 2 years to learn how the way that we learned. Yeah, I was the same way. Like it was, they wouldn't let me make pizza. The guys that I worked with when I was with like Tommy Catalano and these other guys at the beginning, they would just keep me in the back doing me mopping floors. So I would go across the street and buy dough and then bring it home. My mom used to want to kill me. I had like this old school little desk that opened up, and I'd grab the flour out of the thing and I'd stretch a couple pies. And I'd get up in the morning, I'd leave. She'd come in the bedroom, because I was a fucking spoiled kid. She used to make my bed and do all that for me.
Yeah.
But, there's flour all over the place. She's like, what the
kids
fuck
are doing
you
that today?
Huh?
Who's doing that today?
No, nobody.
That's what I mean. Our breed is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the immigrants coming in, legal, not legal, whatever. They don't want it. Nobody wants to fucking work till 10 o'clock at night. It's insane. Whoever's been doing it, guys that are in their 30s and 40s that been here doing it, doing it. But the other thing is so there is a lack of labor. You have to let guys in. Yes, I agree. I don't know the border stuff. I don't want to get into politics. But you got to let people in that are hungry, that want to work.
Oh, I think
legally.
so too.
I'd say legally. But I think that's where we're lacking right now.
I'll tell you something that happened a few years ago now. It's got to be, I want to say at least 4 years ago, where all these guys that have been with me since the beginning, I've bought Williamsburg Pizza for 9 years now, right? All these guys in 1 year, maybe it was 5 years ago actually, they all left.
Wow.
Right? Every one of them that could go back to Mexico went back. And the reason why was because they were like, you know what? I can work for the next 30 years, and what I'm doing, and even saving money and doing this and that. Like I'm living in Coney Island or I'm living on Roosevelt Avenue. I got 3 kids, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, I'm never going to be able to own a house. They left. The ones that stayed because they couldn't leave. Because they got teenage kids. You're not taking that teenage kid that grew up in America and moving them to Puebla, Mexico in the middle of the dirt. You know what I mean?
They're not going to go.
But it's a beautiful life out there. For the, you know what I mean?
Is.
You got community.
Yeah.
You got great food. You hang out.
But that's the same thing. Same thing in.
It's the same thing in Italy.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, they're not making tons of money like some of us guys.
When I go to Cosenza, they tell me, they're like, bro, the average guy here, makes like $400 US a month.
That's it.
And I'm like, well, how do you live?
They're happy to me and you.
It's like, look, they got pigs, they got apples, they got lemons. You know what I mean? Like, you go to the grocery store and spend money. These guys, they got a grocery store in their fucking front yard.
So that's southern. Is that where you're from, Calabria?
No. I'm Sicilian Napolitan. I'm from America, but
my
yeah.
parents are both migrated here. They came here in '72.
Yeah, my father's side's from Isola della Famina, and then my mother's from her parents are from Napoli.
No, my parents both same town, Salerno.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I go there, my grandmother's backyard, she had rabbits, chickens back there. In the morning, we go get fresh eggs.
Yep.
She had every vegetable imaginable.
Yep.
So there is no fruit store, like you said.
Yeah, you don't got to deal with it.
And that's why Italians aren't really known for meat, at least in southern Italy, because there was no steaks.
Well,
You had
back in the day, no,
No,
there's
you had
nothing.
pig, you had a lamb.
And what'd you do with the pig? You made sopressata, you made capicola,
which we'll do in January, which we're going to try to film. We're going to get you there.
Yeah.
You kill the pig, you make sopressata, you make the prosciutto, gabagool, it's crazy.
Everything.
But there was no waste because, they were poor.
Well, no, of course.
Think about who would think of eating pig knuckles, but they ate the whole animal. They were poor.
100%.
They actually, one time when I was a kid, and this might disgust people, especially probably the vegans, I'm sorry, but anyway, I thought I was eating
The
a chocolate
vegans don't
fucking
listen
cake.
to this show.
I thought I was eating a chocolate cake.
I know what you eat.
My grandma, what is it called? Sango de noche. Not think it's sango right there. Should have said something to me.
Yeah,
Blood. It was fucking made out of pig's blood.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is good. Oh, my mother goes, oh, it's pig's blood.
We had our buddy Giuseppe Vitrali over here, and he was talking about that dish. He was like going nuts. He fucking loves it.
But even chicken feet, who fucking eats? They ate everything. Liver.
Yeah.
It's just, but liver's good for you.
Liver's really good for you.
It's good for you.
Yeah, it's really good for you.
But,
yeah, I mean, there's ways to prepare it now. When I actually went to the pig slaughter fest in Cosenza. And, it was this little town. My boy Venancio Vesubio is my old partner. He's from there. That's how I made it over there.
Calabria.
But they have, I forget what they call the guy. They got a special name for the guy. They bring him in. He's from out of town, and he's the guy that kills all the pigs. And he's got the machine. They said he used to do it with a gun, but now he's got like it's like a bolt machine.
Yeah, you don't want to see it.
So they do them. It goes for 2 weeks because
I think it's called Cignale. La Festa di Cignale.
Well, that's a wild boar.
Yeah, wild boar.
But it's not like a real festival.
In
it's
my
like,
town they have that.
Oh, really?
The town next door, yeah.
They where it's like a saint day or something.
I don't know. They have a saint for everything.
I know. No, forget about it. No, this is like where they just get together to like do the charcuterie. So it's after Christmas, right after New Year's.
Yeah.
And then they they're killing the pigs, and then all the guys that get it together, they got these big wooden tables, and they're butchering them and preparing them to make the prosciutto. But there's all this leftover. You're not doing charcuterie with the ears or the hoofs like you're saying. So now the women are taking all that, and they do a big feast after everybody's done working. It's so it's like a salad with the fried pig ears, and then they got the hooves and the head. They bake the whole head, and then they do it like another way where it's kind of like head cheese.
It's great. Think of, like you said, see, they ate everything. What about Joe's Bar and Grill years ago? It was Capuzzel.
I was when you brought up Joe's, I was going to bring that up.
The Capuzzel. They know. Think about it. So, like I said, no part of the animals, but try to feed a kid today a fucking head of a lamb.
You know what's funny? I do Capuzzel for Columbus Day for the Giglio feast. Because the old timers they get into it. It's if you cook it the right way, it's good. It's like anything.
Anything that's cooked. But that's why I think Italians food in general is so good because they were fucking poor.
Yeah.
In southern Italy, they were poor, so you had to make rocks taste good.
Yep.
I mean, who the hell thought?
Literally.
Let me go pick a fucking flower and eat it, zucchini flower.
Yeah.
Think about it, or just anything, or the mushrooms, or how'd you know? How did they know or even asparagus? Like my mother said when she was younger, they used to go in the forest.
To get asparagus.
To get asparagus, because
really?
Asparagus is not what you see in the store.
No.
You got to have an eye for it.
Yeah.
It's grown wild. It's a fucking long goddamn stem, and then and you just get the tip of it. But and it's paper thin.
Yep.
And then even like right now, all the harvest is over last month, right? Let's say all the whatever vegetables are full, nothing goes to waste. They pickle everything.
Yeah.
From onions, la capognata.
Yep.
That's why Italians I've said probably just because I'm Italian, but. We make anything taste good. Like, who the fuck pasta and potatoes? It's carb on carbs.
Well, pasta and potatoes is probably one of the better representation of what, like, they were eating back in the day. Like, one of the days, I just found this shit out. I couldn't fucking believe it when I found it out. But it's, if you go back, pretty much pre-World War II, you go from absolute feudalism to fascism, where 95% of the population is, they're getting their ass kicked by the fucking whoever's the nobility and whoever's the rulers. Like,
correct.
There's a lot of talk, a lot of time, and they teach this in Italian schools to this day. There's a book called Toroni that discusses a lot of this, where the Southerners kind of, it's like how the South became Southerners. And a lot of people, and I grew up hearing this, where it was like, oh, the Piemonteses came in and they raped the land and they fucked everything up and this and that. It is true. But what's not said in that statement is that before the Piemonteses came down, the Bourbons were running shit. And like for 95% of the population, they were kicking your ass too. Correct. You know what I mean? Like, if you had a pig, they were like, I'll take everything but the hooves.
So now you have no meat. So you still got to eat, right?
And you don't have flour.
You don't have no flour, because they took the mill, or the olive trees, which I still have olive trees, grapes. But the other thing is, when I remember as a kid, my mother. So Staten Island is. I'm not from Staten Island. I'm from Brooklyn, but Staten Island is bedrock, just like Manhattan.
Okay.
Manhattan's built up.
Right.
So, but you're talking. We're going back to the '80s. So along the Staten Island Expressway, on the side of the fucking highway, La Chigoria, dandelion. Mm-hmm. Dandelion grows out because Italy's bedrock. There's no.
Right.
The whole peninsula of Italy is bedrock. So now, like you said, if you got no meat, you still got to eat. So they would go picking on the side of the road, on the side of the fucking Staten Island Expressway.
Because that's what they used to do back then.
Yes. And
they're like, oh,
I
shit.
fucking hated it. The taste. No, but potatoes. It's like a soup. Like a minestra, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, Ma, you fucking understand? Like, what are you doing? Like, but it was rich with vitamins, And
no, 100%.
But again, they had to make it taste good.
But 100%, and it goes back to like there's a thing for nostalgia too. You know what I mean? If you grow up with with them because they grew up with something. You know what I mean? Like I've seen old school, like old Italian men. I've seen them eat fucking tripe that was cooked fucking gross. Like when you take, like I've had tripe that's cooked the right way and it tastes great. I've had tripe that it tastes fucking, and these guys are hammer it down because they grew up with it. Exactly. They were little kids. When you grow up with something, a little kid, you feel a certain way about it. Meanwhile, you and my father are looking at them like, oh, what the fuck? Are you out of your minds?
It's just a lot of things. Like even they would eat the face of a pig.
Oh, yeah.
They slice the face of a pig raw, just how it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking great with lemon.
It's fucking.
They're still doing it.
They're still doing it over there. When you go to Naples,
this big.
Yeah, those little carts with the fucking lemons everywhere.
It's crazy.
And the fucking seafood. Yeah. Well, lemon's an antimicrobial, so that's why lemon always goes with like seafood and raw things, because you squeeze a little lemon on there, and I mean, it's not 100% going to keep you safe, but it does. It does. It definitely does.
What's that Mexican thing called?
Ceviche.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it almost cures it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I actually, when I do the tomatoes, I get a big bag of lemons. I cut them all in half, and I have the little kids running the lemons over the jars,
the mason jars.
Yeah, because
I saw you made it this year. You had the jars. You found them.
Oh yeah,
the lids and everything this year.
Oh, bro, I got everything.
There was a shortage.
So what happened was my buddy Joe over at Crest Hardware. I went over to see him, and I was doing an event, and I was like, yo, you don't have any mason jars, right? That you could sell me like wholesale, do you? And he's like, come here. He goes, he brings me into the warehouse. He had him up to the fucking ceiling. He goes, Nino, remember when we couldn't get him back to the pandemic? I kept on ordering them.
Wow.
So one day, he's like 3 weeks ago, a fucking tractor trailer pulled up full of mason jars.
Yeah, because last year you couldn't get the lids.
You couldn't get fucking anything. You still can't get the lids. One of the women this woman Rosanna that did it with us in Lavalette, she couldn't find anything. She was like old school.
Now you cut the tomatoes first?
No.
You just boil them.
What I do is
let me tell you my way.
I know your way.
Boil them.
Oh,
right?
Oh, wait. Yeah, I got it.
Boil the plum tomatoes. You would boil them.
You don't cut them.
They crack. No.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I do them. No, I see the guys that cut them. Some of my family used to do it. They were all fucking yelling at me. I had a bunch of fucking old lady Italians around me, like one's telling me this, one telling me that. I'm like, everybody calm down, okay? I'm doing this. No, I wash them all. I have a bin where I put ones that are have spots on them or are a little fucked up, and then I just throw them in a little bit of water. I boil them until they crack.
Until they crack. And then you pass them.
And then
you pass the skin, right? Pass the skin.
I pass them twice, and then I put them back in a big pot, and then I heat them up.
Well, I did it differently. So now I would jar them.
And then you're heating them.
And then close them.
And then you
blanket them, and then heat the whole fucking thing up.
So
mine, I had to do by hand. Still, my mother.
I know. You were telling me that.
That's what, people think I jerk off with my left hand. No, it's bigger because of the fucking.
I can only imagine your mother like being like, no, it doesn't come out the same with the machine. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Still to this day.
Are you out of your mind? It doesn't come out the same.
She was going to order a new machine. I said, let me get the. No, Amazon. Either we go to Amazon or we go to Colucci. Colucci has it. I said, all right. By hand. Still by fucking hand.
Nah.
The one that the suctions, the vice.
And how many bushels are you doing?
I didn't even count. My mother's nuts. But she's one person.
Yeah. I mean,
But it's a great tradition, isn't it?
No, it's amazing.
You know,
Now
it's a
I'm gonna do it
day,
every year.
And then every Sunday, because that's what's missing in this world too. When me and you growing up, fucking Sunday, you weren't home by 1:30, you didn't eat. That's it.
Right.
So that's the families need to get back together.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
you got to get together somewhere at 2 o'clock.
That's what we use the tomato sauce for every
Yep.
Sunday, you know. Yeah, during the week, everybody's running, working. Yes, all right. We still have pasta during the week, no matter what. But you know, whatever was left over from Sunday. But Sunday, 1:30, you know, rest in peace, my father. You weren't home. He ate. That's it. You ate whatever you want.
It's almost like it's skipping like a generation or something.
It
like
is.
I'm gonna bring it back with like my kids.
That's when I saw you doing. I was like, yeah, Nino, do it. Come on, let's fucking, yeah, my kids too. My kids, you know, even though my wife's Irish, but she's more Italian than half the Italian girls I ever dated.
I mean, my wife's half Mexican, half white. Like,
you know, but and look, she's a pizza girl. You know what I'm saying?
And she gets into all
So
this
my
shit.
kids are into that. It's up to you as the parent.
Oh,
Or else-
100%.
Or else all traditions are gonna die out.
Oh yeah,
You know,
no, 100%.
it's sad.
Well, it's actually what's crazy is it's coming back like, you know, out in like Silicon Valley with these dumb rich people. It's become like a
got
status
time.
symbol to have like a chicken coop. It's a status symbol.
So there's I have like 3 or 4 of my friends in Jersey that have chicken coops.
Yeah.
Pet
I mean,
chickens.
I've
think
been
it's cool, but
I've been like trying to like put one back there, but it's just like I'm like every time I'm gearing up to do it, I got a coop back there too.
Yeah.
But every time I'm gearing up to do it, I'm like they're gonna fuck up all my fucking vegetables.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm putting honey back there this year though.
Where I live in the boondocks, but I love where I live. I live in my area of New Jersey where I live. It's called Cream Ridge. I'm the last town in Monmouth County.
Get the fuck out of here! I'm looking
I know.
over there.
Oh, that's right.
I'm looking there.
you know.
I'm looking there in New Egypt for
Bro,
farms.
right there. I went to La Rita's Wineries there. We have
Yeah.
a golf course. So one day when I first bought my house, I had to go to the turnpike. So I took the back road, right? I had to fucking stop. I swear to God, I was laughing because I had to stop and wait for the chickens to cross the road. Like, chickens crossing the road. I'm dying. It was me and my son. We're like, he's like, where the fuck you move us? You know?
Yeah.
I said, you're gonna love it here. We're gonna, and that got my kids too. They love it.
My cousin, he had, I mean, he still has chickens, but I think he moved to Maine. But he used to live in, I don't know, I forget the name of the place. It's pretty much San Francisco. It's like some little, it's like a Garrettson Beach in San Francisco, basically. But like a lot of, you know, richer people ended up moving there after he moved there. But he had 3 chickens. You never know they were there. They were in like this little coop in the back. Like unless he let them out to show you, you never know.
They get
He's got
paid.
fucking eggs every fucking day.
Yeah.
What's that?
You gotta worry about the rooster. That's the one that chases you.
No, they don't have it. You're not allowed. So that's the thing you're not allowed to have in New York.
Oh, I never
Bro,
knew that.
You can have a it's
Maybe because
illegal.
of cockfights, that's why.
No, because of the sound.
The
because
sound,
they
that's
every
right.
morning they
That's
fucking they crow
That's right.
or whatever you call it, cock-a-doodle-doo. But yeah, it's illegal. Like if you want to, you can have a cow in your backyard legally
In the city?
in the city.
Never knew that.
Bro, there's no like that's the thing that fucking like it pisses me off about some of these towns in Jersey. Like you can't do fucking anything.
No,
you know what I
some
mean?
of them, yeah.
Where like New York City, you would never think, but like I could bring in a couple pigs in the back and fucking raise them, and it's
where I
completely
live,
legal.
Where I live, bro.
Where you live, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Fucking wild boar. There's everything.
But I'm saying like a lot of these towns,
Some-
like
some
that's
of-
like a farm town with no rules. I bet you're allowed to shoot guns in your backyard in that fucking town
maybe.
if you have enough acres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
If you have enough acres, like it's not. But try doing that in like a
Freehold,
Somerville, New
no,
Jersey. Yeah,
no,
exactly.
don't forget
They'd
about
fucking
it.
kill you.
That's the blue wave
Try
up
putting
there.
a fucking pig in your backyard in fucking Red Bank, New Jersey. They'd string you up. You'd
forget about
have the cops, the police down there.
And it's all
the
money, those
helicopters.
towns. Yeah, exactly. They fucking lynch you.
It's crazy. All right, we're gonna take a little break to hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Little break. Where we at? Hello? Yeah. Yeah, we're bullshitting. We're getting all rowdy like off fucking mic.
Oh, okay.
So,
I just got a
what were
phone
you-
call. One of my stores in Tom's River. Can you get me somebody to work Friday and Saturday night? I says, it's incredible. Nobody wants to work.
Yeah. So and And it doesn't matter where you're putting ads on Craigslist.
Instagram, TikTok. I mean, TikTok's fucking.
And I mean, there's tons and tons of kids out there with driver's licenses. They don't
want to
work.
Look, when we were younger, did your parents maybe give you 20? You had to fucking beg.
I'd have to beg. Yeah, I'd be like,
Today,
I'd have to make up a story, too. It's not only begging.
The parents give them, they got this, so they got that going on. It's like so much shit. We didn't have shit. We didn't have sports like today. Sports was maybe on the weekends, not during the week, at night, I
see that a lot. I see that with my cousins with older kids. It's just like the sports,
soccer, football, Friday night, Saturday day, this, that. Come on, man.
So how old are your kids?
My oldest is 16. He's a junior in high school. My middle guy is.
And you're going through that with all the sports and everything?
He's a wrestler.
Okay.
My son looks like me face-wise, but doesn't have my body. I got the big, beautiful dad bod.
Yeah.
He's actually today too. I'm going to show you. My son is about 180, 6'1", fucking solid. My oldest, my little guy is solid too. They're both wrestlers. My son today got the coach's award.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my wife.
That's one of the things I did before I dropped out. I was.
So this is what my son got today.
Oh, nice. That's fucking awesome.
For wrestling, yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
So I got my baby, my daughter.
Yeah.
She goes to school in Belmar, St. Rose. She's a Catholic school girl with a little dress and all that.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. So there's no schools over at Cream Ridge?
Yeah, there is. There's no high school.
Yeah, they got to go to other towns.
Allentown.
Yeah.
We just, we wanted, not to say private, we wanted more, we're not fanatic religious.
Right.
People, Catholic, but we want a little religion.
Yeah,
Besides the education, the smaller schools.
Okay, so they're going to Catholic
public schools right now. Yeah, they're going to Catholic. And the public schools right now, to these Democrat nuts, the not that they're not wearing masks, it's just different. It's It's like when me and you went to school, the teachers, it's just different. I don't know. Public schools are great in New Jersey.
I heard Point Pleasant's got a good school now.
All public schools are great. The only reason why my kids are in private Catholic schools, I want them to have religion.
Yeah.
But the high schools, they're all great.
Yeah, I heard somebody was telling me
Point is great.
Like,
Point Borough's great.
I was out there with my one of my partners, Kyle O'Brien. So he grew up in Lavalette, and
right
I shouldn't even be saying this because hopefully nobody's gonna fucking listen this far in. Like hopefully not a million people will, but something that I couldn't fucking believe. Because taxes in New Jersey, property taxes are out of control.
If I tell you what I'm paying, you won't even believe it.
Well, I will believe it because it's in a town with not a lot of schools.
No,
right?
And we have no
and
police,
not a lot of kids, and no police,
and no fire.
Yeah,
so we have no services. So we have to pay where I live
pay
to remove the snow.
Right, right.
We have no services.
So in Lavalette, you got a $1.2 million beach house. The taxes are $3,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Because so if you, first of all, there's not a lot of kids in Lavalette. You know what I mean?
They don't have to pay the school tax.
They don't have to pay the school tax. So what they have I think they have like
They must be grandfathered in with something.
No, what it is it's they have like a kindergarten through 6 or K through 8, and a lot of kids from other towns go to that, so they pay Lavalette. But then there's not that many kids that actually live in Lavalette.
That's all part of the Toms River.
Yeah, so the ones that go out to Point Pleasant for high school, there's not a lot of them. So what they're getting in compared to what they got to pay out to Point Pleasant is they're getting more than they have to pay out because how many kids live in that town?
Good for them. Then you got the town next door, Mantaloken. That's the
forget about it.
Big homes over there. It's nice.
Yeah. But
it's
what
nice.
are you paying? Like that's what I can never wrap my head around in Jersey is, you get a nice house in, whatever, in Toms River or Point Pleasant or whatever. And now you're paying fucking $15 to $30K a month in taxes, and that's not a mansion. We're not talking a mansion, by the way. We're talking a regular like 2-3 bedroom, 3-bedroom working class family house.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're not talking about anything crazy. And
no, but here's what you're paying for: the quality of life.
Right.
You are paying for the great schools, right? Your kids are getting bused for the most part. This year, the busing because of pandemic. A lot of bus drivers are retired. They don't have enough. I got to drive my kid back and forth to school every day right now. There was no bus for them.
Really?
Last year there was.
Okay.
But retirees, whatever. You're paying for the, like I said,
But you don't pay a lot of taxes in Cream Ridge, huh?
No, I pay a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't even want to tell you on the radio. I'll tell you off the record.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think it'd be that much over there.
No, it doesn't.
What about New Egypt? Because it's like all farms
Still
and
high.
stuff. It's still high.
But now, listen, look, all these towns, all these states, right? With the pandemic, they gave everything away for free. Nothing is for free.
Right.
Everybody in the whole state of New Jersey's taxes, property taxes, just went up 3%.
Yeah.
Because they got to get money back. They're broke, you know?
Right.
So that's why I tell everybody, you know what you want? You want to buy stocks? Buy gambling stocks and buy weed. Because every city, think about it. Every state's going to make it legit.
Yeah.
Because it's revenue they're going to get.
100%.
Look, New York, weed and gambling. New Jersey, you can gamble. You go, I gamble on my app. I'm playing fucking blackjack.
What is it, Brady? What did New York just do? I know they made it legal, but is it illegal to sell or is it just legal?
It's fully legal right now, but
Not legal to open up like a store.
It's you gotta like go through the proper streams and stuff, and so therefore like.
No, there's dispensaries in Jersey.
No, I'm talking about New York because they.
In
No.
like a year or so.
Jesus
there'll be
Christ.
Dispensaries, but like.
So there is going to be dispensaries in New York.
Yeah.
See, that's surprising because New York's always the last state because you're dealing with Albany and they're all fucked up.
Exactly.
Like they don't let anything. You know
But
what?
they know it's money. They need
Right.
money. So they're like, fuck it. It's hypocritical, right? New
Yeah.
York, oh, eventually you'll see they're going to be like, yeah, carry a gun, but you're going to have to give me $1,000 a month to carry that gun.
They're in Supreme. I just read today. There's a
See?
Supreme
I
Court.
didn't even know that.
Supreme Court going on the New York drug laws. They're making an argument that so in New York, what is it? Yeah, it's all of New York. In order to have a concealed carry, you have to prove that you bring in 10,000 cash a
Well,
week.
that was always like that, but
Right, but
To go
now
to the
they're bringing it to the Supreme Court, and they're saying that like it's illegal or something like that. They're trying to get the carries. Look at this. Logan just came on camera. What are you on the podcast, Logan?
Logan, I'm not kissing you.
Logan loves Peter.
if you
All right,
were-
Logan, you got to get the fuck out of here.
If you were
What are you doing? Hold
Logana,
on.
you're a Logan, you're a boy.
Come on, get out of here. Come on, take a walk. Take a walk. You're not on the podcast. No, find your mom. Come on.
Sorry, bud.
So, all right. We're going to have to get some Gravesend stories out of this guy, Peter, while he's here.
What do you want to know?
I want to hear some good Gravesend stories. I want to hear some crazy stories. Don't mention any names. Tell me a couple crazy stories from Gravesend.
Oh my God, where do you start? Fighting, hanging out, gangster stories.
I don't know. Whatever you think. Whatever you think. I don't want to force you to tell anyone. You know, any one of those
I can
would
tell
work.
you whatever's in the newspapers. It was 1990 or 91, January, right?
Yeah.
We're hanging out. There was a club on the corner of Van Sicklen and Avenue.
Okay.
So I was playing. Remember the basketball? Then you get the tickets, whatever, but without the
Oh yeah,
tickets.
yeah,
You
yeah,
had to
yeah.
shoot the-
Yeah.
So it was me, about four of my friends. All of a sudden, you heard, you heard pop, pop.
Right.
Fuck is that? Run outside by the square that we spoke about earlier, the Lady
Yeah.
Moody Triangle. We run over. It was a Land Cruiser, and it was Nicky Black. His fucking head got shot off.
Jesus.
And the passenger seat was his nephew, Joe Tolino. And leaning into the car was another friend of ours. I'll never forget Anthony Bianco. The poor guy was asking for a job. He got labeled as a gang,
Oh, this was like that Colombo War stuff,
It was the
right?
Colombo War era. That
Yeah.
was just sick times. So
Yeah.
I could tell you a lot of stories. And we were there.
Because that all happened right there
Yeah.
for the most part, right?
All over Avenue. The clubs
Yeah.
were there. So that's one sick story just growing up in my neighborhood. I walked over, she's fucking brand. It was sick. Really was crazy. Before cops, that's when then that FBI agent showed up, Lindsay Del Vecchio. And now here's the sick part. So now, you know, we then finally the cops came, they taped it off and all of that. And I remember, it's crazy because me and my friends were talking about this a while ago because there's this rat on YouTube that has
Oh, one of the I've seen all these guys. Yeah,
has a YouTube
there's a lot
page.
now.
So wait a minute, listen to this. So I remember clear as day, like it was weird. Like some guy actually says, "Oh, what happened?" We're like, "Oh, Nicky Black got killed. Oh shit!" And he drove off. This guy about a month ago was on YouTube. He's telling the story. He was the hitman. He was with Gregory Scarpa, who ended up coming out. Who it was?
Right.
And he goes, yeah, he was a young kid. I forgot his name. He's like, yeah. Then I pulled over. I asked these kids what's going on. I was, oh shit, that was us. You know?
That's
so
insane.
that's like that was like one. You know, that was the neighborhood back then. But neighborhoods were safe.
Right.
No drugs, not like today. I mean, there was.
So
Always,
you didn't have to worry about I mean, you didn't have to worry about getting shot by anybody even when that stuff was going on, nothing like
you
that.
never know. I mean, that's when shit hit the fan because it was right by a school.
Yeah, but you'd have beefs with people now.
Oh yeah, we had fights with Avenue X, Kings Highway.
Yeah.
And now I love them all. We're best friends, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, yeah.
I mean, a lot of my best friends I used to fight
with a bat, get back in the car and leave. Yeah, those crazy days. Yeah.
Did you hang out with your cousin when you guys were kids?
Johnny?
Yeah.
Johnny was my heart. His father, my father were best friends.
So
his father, my father grew up together.
Are you older or younger?
No, he's 2 years older than me.
He's 2 years older than you.
He turned 50 in January. He was born in 71. He's a New Year's baby.
Oh, really?
January 1st, 1971. I'm April 10th, 1973.
So you guys used to hang out when you were
nuts. Johnny was nuts. Johnny.
Why do they call him Johnny Sprockets? You know that story?
So there was, I think it goes back to there was a transmission shop in the neighborhood called Rockets.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it got spun into him, and he got wound up Johnny Sprockets. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I just don't remember Johnny Sprockets.
I heard like a story where it was like, and I don't even know.
If you say it, I'll remember.
So it was so long ago. I'm probably gonna butcher the fucking story,
Go ahead.
like because it's like the telephone game. But all right, this is a story that I remember. There was a motorcycle, some crazy guy riding a motorcycle. He was going like the wrong way over the hill, and he got like smashed by a box truck. And the motorcycle, went into a million pieces. The guy died. And Johnny used to go hang out at the square. And there was these kids, older kids that, they used to come over, slap him around, take his shit or whatever. And one day he was like, got sick of it. And he picked up they came over, they took his shit again. He went over and there was the sprocket from the motorcycle that got hit. And he picked it up, he threw it like a frisbee at the kid. It landed in the kid's head. He thought he killed the kid. So he went, he ran under his mother.
You're talking about the early 90s, man. It could have been.
Yeah, and he was scared. He was like, what did I do, this and that? It turned out the kid didn't die, but he had he was fucked up for his whole life, but he came and apologized to him. Johnny wouldn't go to school. I think it was like the story I heard. It was like his mother barely spoke English, right? God. Is that right?
His mother, Lena,
Yeah. So she was like, I don't know what's wrong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was like, well, he's like, no, I can't go to school or whatever. I don't know. That's the story I heard back in the day. But, yeah, it's, I mean.
Then we opened up our own club.
You guys did?
We had our own club on our own little social club.
What was it called?
It was the old Mother Cabrini Social Club. We took it over. We used to hang out.
Just to hang out, hang out with the boys.
Members only, just us.
Yeah.
We had the Joker Poker machine. Remember those machines back in the day? I own one of those now in my house.
Do you?
I went to buy one off Facebook Marketplace.
They probably got it for steal,
now,
right?
Yeah, I got it for like $300. Working condition. So the guy goes, oh, it's broke. He thought it was broke because it didn't accept money.
Yeah.
So he got rid of it. He could have got so much more. Anyway, he sold it for me for $300. It wasn't broke. Just remember, the machine was from the 80s. So an $80 20, a 1980s or 90s 20 is different from today.
Yeah.
So the card reader, the money reader,
was too old to take.
So I got
a
customer who fixed arcade games. I called this guy up, Ted. I go, Ted, I got this. He told me right away. He goes, that's what it is. He put a new one. Now you.
It just works great.
Come over. Come out. Play cards. Play the fucking machine. Come on.
Yeah, that's a thing that you don't see that anywhere in Williamsburg today. You still see it in the neighborhood. There's a couple spots.
All the time.
There's a couple spots up here at Queens where you see them, but it's
when we were kids, they were everywhere.
Oh, they were fucking everywhere.
The cherry pick, the
cherry machine.
The cherry machine.
They got there was when I bought the place in Crown Heights, there was one in there. And my partners, they don't know what the fuck it is. And I'm like, I see it and I'm cracking up. They're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And I was like, it's
school,
it's a thing. There's a guy that takes care of it, blah, blah, blah. We kept it in there like 2 months, and then they were just
50-50.
like, yeah, no, that's what it was. No, the guy that was handling it. He was great. He was like, hey, man, anything you need, if you need me to take it. He was a great guy. But, eventually we got rid of it. But, yeah, I used to, when I moved to Pittsburgh back in the day, I used to I had all these tricks. I had like I used to take this real tiny hole puncher and put it was a special string with a special 3M tape, and I could, insert. Well, some of the machines, they had the ripper, where if you would try to go out, it would rip the dollars. So you'd have to find the machines that wouldn't do that. And then we used to do things with the.
Lucky you didn't get caught.
Huh?
You're lucky you didn't get caught.
Oh, no. I was good. Well, everybody had them. That was so. Here was the difference in what you're talking about. You're talking about Brooklyn. People control it.
Yes.
In Pittsburgh, they didn't.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So a guy's got it, and there's a guy that'll come fix it for them, but it's not like it was in Brooklyn where you're gonna get your head cracked open because yeah, exactly. So it was a different situation. And then the other thing we used to do is we got our hands. We met this guy who had a vending machine business. So he had all the Coke and the Pepsi machines at the supermarkets. So they have master keys.
Now they're fucking Apple Pay.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't do this anymore, world. Yeah. But back then, he had a master key because he owned them. Because think about it. If you got to go empty out 100 machines.
So you need one key to control them all.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a key that comes with them. So some of them will have padlocks, but you got to find the ones that they don't put the padlocks on, and they just use a master key.
It was a Master 400 key.
Yeah, we'd go around and get them all.
We used to, so let me tell you another story back in the day when graffiti was big. So we got, now same thing with the train stations, MTA. They were all locks, but they were all master locks, the company Master Lock. It was a Master 400. You got your hand on that 400 key, that opened every fucking lock.
Everywhere.
I mean, it were nights. I think about it now, like, what the fuck was I doing? I'd be like on the end line, my boys, the cubby holes. You know what a cubby hole is? Okay, cubby hole is, the tunnels? Remember, there are 4 tunnels. Let's take the end line.
Yeah.
So there's a hole that you can go through the tunnel. You're standing in between. There's a fucking train coming this way and behind you.
Yeah, the little.
I don't fit now. I won't fit. But now I think about it, we were walking on the third rail, and there was a wood, shit that we used to do to go write fucking graffiti.
Yeah, if you hit that fucking metal, you'd fucking, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the shit that we did.
So you used to write when you were a kid?
I didn't write. I went for the hangout.
Yeah, you went to hang out.
Weed,
that's what I was
run,
like.
No, cop, run.
Yeah. I'd write some bullshit, but I wasn't.
Another story I got to tell you. So when one of the first nights ever hanging out, I was maybe 12 or 13. I met my friends in school. Some of them were a couple older, so they were more seasoned guys hanging out, right? So it was a Friday night, and we're hanging out. This is another thing, right? We used to hang out in the fucking piss corner. It was called the piss corner, but we were hanging out in there, right? So it was about 6, 7, 8 of us. Another Gravesend story, right? So smoking, we're hanging out, doing our thing. We started playing the game. The ABC game. I'm going on a picnic. You ever play that game?
No.
I'm going on a picnic. I'm bringing apples. What are you going? You go. You're going on the picnic. You're bringing apples and bananas. He's bringing apples, bananas. Candy. You got to remember.
Yeah.
So here comes a guy with a flashlight. I thought. So remember, it's like one of my first, maybe second nights out. Guy comes in there with whoa, what are you doing? It was a fucking cop. Shit my pants. I disappeared for a month because I was like, I'm out of here. What the fuck's going on? I'll never forget. Then then I started hanging out again. But that first night hanging out, we're playing that game. I was like, what are you fucking bringing? He goes, what am I bringing? Shit, it was a fucking cop.
Wait, what do you mean the first time you were out? Like as like
first
a kid?
Time I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Growing up in Brooklyn, everybody, like I said earlier, you had kids that hung out on the block. Yeah. Some of them always hung out on the block, never made it to their major avenue, which we're
Right, you're on West 6 between,
You hung out
if
on
you're
the
on
block.
West 6 between like High Lawn and S,
Yes.
you're not going to leave High Lawn and
No,
S.
you're a block kid. You're a
Yeah.
good kid. Not bad. Not that he made you bad, but you didn't, like, let's say, go to Kings, hang out on the highway, hang out with Kings
no, you
Highway.
can't go to
You didn't
yeah.
hang out on Avenue, hang out with us on the square,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Avenue X, or Bay Parkway. All neighborhoods had crews.
Yeah.
Back in we all fought each other. Now we're all friends. It's different.
course.
They don't even have that today no more. It's over.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely
So
over.
I was like one of the first nights I left the block. My friend John and George, I'll never forget. They're like, come on, come hang out. We'll hang out in the square. I was like, I was all right. Mom, I'm going to. I didn't even tell my mother, I don't think. And then that was the first night. She scared the shit out of me, and I left.
Well, you and like Johnny's generation, you guys almost have like different accents from like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
You meet kids that are your age from like, it's like they have a different way of speaking
because
from
I
West
had
10th to West
I had
8th.
first generation Italian, because I speak Italian.
Right.
Then you had the kid around the block. His parents were born here, so he's got a different, he doesn't really
Yeah.
speak the right. Then you have the kid that's like 3rd generation, has another accent, a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
But one thing about us, we're all loyal. That's what's missing today.
Yeah.
It was always bros before hoes. It was different growing up,
Yeah, there were
You had
rules.
lines. Guys had we were nuts. No matter what, there was sick motherfuckers I grew up with,
Yeah,
and there was just always lines you didn't cross. You respected.
of course.
Today, I don't see that with these. Again, to bring up this generation again.
mean,
it's
well-
everything me.
Well, it's like it's the culture, you know what I'm saying? Like you see, this kid's actually from this neighborhood. That kid, that rapper with the crazy hair. What's his name? 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine, where he rats all over the place, and then now he's out there making million. People are like,
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Little Mo Mozzarella. You ever see?
I've seen him. Yeah.
So he's got shirts made up. One of his shirts that he got made up is "Stop Glorifying Rats."
That's my boy Johnny 110%.
That's so.
Omerta, the Omerta line.
Yeah, it's just "Stop Glorifying Rats."
Yeah.
I mean,
so Johnny.
what do they call them today? They call them. They don't call them rats now.
Snitches.
No, they think now like in the. Like that lady that just ratted that she worked for Facebook. What is it? She's not. There's a new word for it, but it's a rat. Even if you're ratting on your boys, you're a rat.
Like this.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
Stitches not that. That's been around forever. Snitches get stitches.
No, but this
His
is
says stop
Yeah, look.
glorifying rats. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it's called Omerta Mia.
Oh, I
Shout
didn't
out
know
to
that.
Omerta Mia and Johnny 110%. Like, that's
it.
me.
Stop gang at once. Yeah, that's good.
That's me on the site.
Oh, that's you, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I have that shirt hanging in my editing.
Look at this. This one's good. I like this one. Mind your business.
Business.
That's a
Nobody
good
minds
one.
their business.
No,
But social
people
media
don't.
did that.
Social media did that, and
Phone.
everybody thinks they can get away with everything. And people think they can say whatever they want without consequences and this and that. It's what you brought up before. I mean, I don't have fucking time in the day to fucking follow all this shit. But like what these guys that got these YouTube channels, these fucking like these
even,
rats,
Sammy
they're
the
all
Bull
over.
has one.
Yeah, I see him on my thing, the Vlad TV. He's
That's
always
the
got
one.
these
He's
guys on.
Oh God, that's the one that I'm talking about. Vlad TV.
He's got them on all the time. Different people saying crazy things. You know who was the funniest one? Because he popped up on because it pops up in my newsfeed, and once in a while I watch it. The guy from The Godfather, Gianni Russo. The one that played. He was in The Godfather 1. He played Connie's husband.
Oh,
Yeah,
what was his name?
Gianni
Yeah, I know
Gianni
you're talking-
Russo, I think his name is.
Yeah.
So, bro, this guy, this guy was telling the craziest stories you ever heard in your life, and I'm like, I mean, who the
That
fuck
era
knows?
was even crazy in the 70s.
But he was saying, bro, this guy saying he was banging Marilyn Monroe when he was 16 years old. The guy saying that, I actually met the guy a few times back in the day, but he was saying that he got kidnapped by Pablo Escobar and brought to Colombia. Bro, and Albert Anastasia or Frank
Murder, Inc.
Frank Costello. No, not Albert Anastasia. Frank Costello gave him his apartment when he was 20 years old. Like crazy fucking stories that you're like, this guy's, he's taking a piss almost. You know what I mean? It's there's yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all that. It's crazy. What was it? There's another guy. My buddy Gunner is friends with him. He was involved with what you were just talking about. I think his name's Larry Monza. Is that the guy?
That's the fucking guy I'm talking
That's the
about.
guy.
That's the guy who said.
So my boy Gunner's like best friends with
Get
him.
at it. That's
yeah.
the guy who came and said to us, Larry Mazza.
Yeah.
He said, hey, what's going on over here? That's the
Yeah.
guy. I saw him on Vlad TV. I was like, oh, shit, I remember that.
Now, what I don't understand, those guys can't come back to the neighborhood now.
Nah, who's gonna do something?
Yeah,
Me?
you think?
No.
Nah, I'm not doing anything.
I don't have the energy, the strength. What am I gonna- I mean, who am I anyway? I'm not nobody anyway.
Yeah,
But I'm saying
exactly.
It's no.
Done. It's you know, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, but listen, you know, we can open up a million pizzerias. We can, you know,
Legit.
we don't have to.
I never did that anyway, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So
But
what do you?
growing up in that area, you saw all of that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's. I remember.
Any Brooklyn big neighborhood that any Italian American neighborhood, that's the way it was back.
Well, that's one of the things that like I didn't understand when I was like, you know, when I moved to the neighborhood, I was like 16, 17 years old. And like, you know, after I was hanging out, you know, at the club next to Johnny's and this and that, you know, I used to see John and the guys that ran it, and I'd see them paying the guy, and I'm like, why you pay that guy? And it's like, yeah.
That's why he paid.
You know. Well, it was also, they would say that it was, you know, that guy, he's, you know, it's a pool as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the cops aren't going to really bother you too much. And then if anything happens, you know, there's a little fun for you or whatever. So it made sense. But
Well, that was Gravesend.
that was Gravesend. Not no more, though.
No.
I drove down, I'll tell you, what was it? Probably 6 years ago, I drove down 18th Avenue. I almost came to
There's
tears.
nothing left.
There's nothing left.
I mean,
it was
Cafe Milalucci's at
Friday
99
night,
cents, so.
midnight, dark,
Wow.
just lights out. And you know, we used to go out. Johnny used to put me in the car and fucking, not your cousin Johnny, but Johnny from the club used to put me in the car with his girlfriend.
He owns the cafe now on
Kings Highway. Yeah,
Good guy,
yeah,
John.
Yeah.
Another
so,
good guy.
no, Johnny's great.
His girlfriend, wife, good guy.
Yeah, no, he's great. But he's one of the last guys left, though. But I mean, you know, his spot is the last place that I walk into that, like, it's a remnant of what it used to feel like when I was, you know, 18, 19 years old or whatever. But, yeah, so what do you think? What makes your pizza so good, by the way? What do you think? Have you changed your pizza at all since Peter Pizza? Have you, like, evolved it? It's just the same exact thing?
Same thing.
So
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why? I just put my heart into it.
Okay.
I use great ingredients, but it's crazy. Like before we were on air, we were talking about ovens, right?
Yeah.
So the 50s, I guess, was it Baker's Pride maybe?
Yeah. It was
Or
Baker's Pride.
Barry Pizza Ovens, whatever.
It was Barry, Baker Pride, it was all of them.
The same letter H frame, same
Yeah.
oven. Everybody had not a spiral mixer, whole bar mixer, same flour, same cheese, blah blah blah. Everybody's sauce. So I do still use Baker's Pride oven, gas oven. I still use a whole bar mixer. I still use a great flour. I just do things a little different the way another person would make their
The
dough.
way that, like, you were taught?
Yeah,
Okay.
just real. It's just it's a dumb-proof recipe
Right.
that I perfected in my way.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's all.
but I do use great ingredients, and I think my dough. God bless you. My dough and my sauce. I think my sauce is phenomenal,
Okay.
and no agita. It's just a great, good Italian tomato. And I'm the only one that makes it really.
What do you like? How long do your dough sit out? Like, I don't want you to give away all your secret recipes or anything, but do you do like any kind of long fermentations with them, or it's okay, just overnight?
Overnight.
Okay.
We have maybe the white cases, 20 cases,
Right.
20, 30 cases. But actually we're making dough throughout the day because of my square pizzas. So.
Did those sit out like a long time?
So sometimes we'll even if let's say if I'll make dough in the morning, I'm gonna have to use it in the afternoon or night. Yeah, so I'll just tweak it with the yeast a little bit.
Right. Okay.
that's really it.
So adding like
And if
aerating
we're
a
really
little bit
in
more.
a pinch like fucking Halloween because there's almost so much you could store, walking box, then you have to use the warm water,
Right.
warmer water to get it going. But other than that, no.
It is what it is.
It is what
And you
it
guys
is.
par bake the doughs, right, too?
No,
No.
no.
For the Sicilian.
I'm old school, bro.
Really?
I'm straight raw dough.
Raw dough in the oven.
Roll like your sister's ass. Raw
Jesus
dough.
Christ. How do you? That's hard to manage.
It's very hard.
Very hard to
So-
manage.
So I believe when people and yet it comes. So my dough, the way I make my squares, they're so fucking crispy. I mean, I think you tried it, right?
Yeah.
It's
course.
crispy, but if you eat in my restaurant, it's completely different than takeout.
Yeah.
By the time it gets to you, it's gonna.
That's
soften
any
up.
pizza. Yeah. It's.
No matter what liner you put in, aluminum foil, wax paper, the crust liner, perfect crust line, whatever. So my dough is airy yet crispy, and it's raw dough. What's hard about that is you only got 1 day, babe.
Yeah.
2 days, you got to throw it out.
Oh yeah. You
Because
can't
it's-
after that.
Because you're making a dough, you're making it rise, take it out, put it in the pan, re-rise it. How much it starts to lose its power. Mm-hmm. So what happens is it doesn't get dark after two. If you cook a square, one of my squares after 2-3 days never gets dark.
Well, what's happening there is, it's rising up, and all the sugars have been eaten, like the
Correct.
converted ones. It's almost cannibalized itself.
Exactly. So that's why you put the sugar. At least that's what I was taught. The sugar does give it the. You got to be careful how much sugar you put in your dough, but the more you put, the darker it'll get.
Right.
And then salt, and then I have some other secret ingredient that I
Yeah.
use that a lot of people don't use in their dough.
Okay.
Other than that, and then my tomato sauce is phenomenal.
What kind of tomatoes you use?
So I use an Italian tomato from Restaurant Depot.
Okay.
And then I also use Stanley sauce. A
The
couple of their
like the paste, like
Yeah,
the
like that paste.
Yeah. The heavy pizza sauce stuff.
and that's really it.
Yeah.
But
They're
I
a
just-
cool company. I got to talk to them recently. Like, I use chow tomatoes from Italy mostly. They come in from Campania region. But I got to
I'm
talk to the I got to talk to the Stanislaus guys, and a lot of their processes are really, really interesting, and they have some products that I wasn't really aware of because I've never been an Alta Cucina fan, and I kind of
Good
like
product.
I'll tell you something. I think like the reason why I've always hated it so much is people have been fucking shoving it down my throat since I was fucking 14, where I was like, and they say the same thing, the consistency,
Yeah.
and this and that. Like, I mean, they did like, and we were actually talking about that when I was discussing with them, where they were giving me like kind of the history of how they came into the New York scene, and they had some, I forget the guys'
They're
names.
They're Modesto.
Yeah, exactly. But they had street teams in Manhattan, Brooklyn, with crazy guys, like crazy neighborhood guys that are like legendary dudes in the industry. And I'm sorry, I can't remember any of their names. But these were like, they would find like, one of these nut jobs in fucking Little Italy. And he'd say, okay, you're part of the street team. And the guy, he would go into all the restaurants and he'd be like, hey, Luigi, come here. Where's your tomatoes? Open up a can of tomatoes. Try this. You know what I mean?
That's
And
how
that's how they
it was
started.
back in the day.
Yeah.
We got Italian salesmen come in, open up, grab the tomato. You would eat it right out of the plum and taste it, But since I've been in the business, it's always been it was either Bonta, or what was that?
Alta, Alta Cucina, and then you had whatever Italian. The Italian ones were like Luigi or Nina.
Yeah, Nina.
But
there was something, and what's the one with the S? Scalfani.
Scalfani, yeah.
And the way I prep my sauce, I'm not a really big spicer guy.
Right.
My uncle was nuts. He fucking throw oregano,
Everything, right?
garlic,
Yeah.
salt, pepper. I wasn't when. That's the only thing I changed when I went on my own. I perfected my own sauce.
I do for my pizza sauce. Usually, it's salt and pepper.
That's it.
That's
Same here.
That's it.
Salt and
It's just-
pepper. You don't need.
I
the
get
sugar
salt
if
from
you use a good
Sicily.
tomato. That's all I use is salt, and then.
Yeah.
So I think my square pies, my upside down squares, what I'm known for. That's what got the 8.9 with Dave Portnoy,
Yeah.
the #1 pizza in the state of New Jersey, 2017. It's just, I hate to use the Pringles commercial, but it's true. Like, you can't have just one slice. It's so light, so fluffy, so crispy and airy. It's the sauce, and then I finish it with I use extra virgin olive oil and Pecorino Romano, which is going through the roof right now. That's another story. And that's it. Little fresh Sicilian oregano.
That's all you got to do. You know, one of the things, I mean, you can see it too. Like, you could see it on your Instagram. Like, you could go on your Instagram. Like, when I found your Instagram, like 5 years, I was, you know how I found your Instagram?
No.
I was hanging out at my mother's house right after she bought the house in Point Pleasant. And I was there for like, you know, I was spending a couple weeks going to the beach, doing whatever. And I'm on Instagram and I'm like, let me see what the pizzeria is over here. And that's how I met, Mike from J&G. That's
J&G,
you know, that's how I found Rosie's.
Great guy.
That's how I reached out to you, and I didn't even realize it was you.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
when I was
small
reaching
world.
out, I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" They're like, "Yeah, it's Peter Pizza." I was like, "What?"
Small fucking world.
So, no, but you know, you look at it when somebody has a good pie and you can see it, and that's why I think it's, you know, it's important to
Just like you do. I think any successful pizzeria, whether it's a one-shop guy, two-shop guy, three-shop guy, the reason why you expanded is because of your headquarters, where you started, right? Because more or less in the industry, okay, you're a computer guy, right? But there's a million of you computer guys, right?
what do you mean, computer guy?
Well, you use a computer flour, I'm saying?
Oh, Caputo.
Caputo,
Yeah.
computer, whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
My Brooklyn accent. All right? So what I'm saying is...
Let me fix you up.
What I'm saying is everybody mostly in our industry more or less uses the same ingredients.
Yeah.
But it's what passion you have for it.
Right.
How good do you want to be? Do you want to just make money? Or do you want to make money? And I rather...
I mean, how do you make real money without a good product today?
Exactly.
Today. And maybe you get away with it 15, 20 years ago, but today, I don't know.
You have to stand out amongst the rest.
Yeah.
You're still gonna always have those mom and independent pizzerias or just generic.
Well, I mean, we're independent pizzerias.
We are, but I'm saying the independents
the
that are
generic.
just generic.
I mean, they're all over your
generic.
area.
Yes.
And even if just because you're Italian or whatever doesn't mean,
No.
you know what I mean?
No, I don't think, no, just because of time, but you got to be not just about, okay, the pizza, obviously, okay, here's the thing. The pizza is going to draw you in. You're going to taste my pizza, or whatever anybody, Rosie's, which is great. He's been in my store, nice guy. I've never been to JG, but a lot of other pizza. I love everybody. I've been to Di Lorenzo's, great pie.
Yeah.
Federici's, all different than me. We're all different in our own thing. But, so the pie, the pizza, the product is what brings you in.
Yeah.
What's next is you.
Yep.
Me. Make the people, bro, I love coming here. The food, I make a show. We make it like old school, the way we were as kids.
100%.
So when you walk into my pizzeria, people are like, whoa, I feel like I just fucking walked into Brooklyn.
Yep.
Besides the pitches, the attitude, I don't put toppings. I talk just the way I'm talking to you is how I talk to my customers. I flirt, but I tell my wife, don't worry about it, I'm browsing. You know what I'm saying? I browse, I don't buy. You know, everybody's beautiful and everybody's handsome.
Yeah.
People like that.
100%.
So you have to have passion for what you do, love what you do. I hate to use that cliche, but I've said it many times on other podcasts. If you love what you do, and I tell it to my kids, if you love what you do, you will never fucking work a day in your life.
That's it.
Right?
I agree
You go
with
to
that
work.
100%.
How many, like when towards the end of my uncle, man, I fucking hated getting up.
Really?
And I never crossed the street to go to work. I used to live on West 4th and T. I used to walk to Avenue, make a right, and go to work.
I was on, what was I on? I was on West 8th between High Lawn and S. And then, yeah.
And you had to walk down the avenue to West 9th.
Yeah.
So one time, and I'll never forget this, and it taught me, you know what? It taught me a lesson. Like I said before, my uncle was bad in some ways and good in others. But, you know, growing up, I went out to Legacy, which is a club in Bay Ridge. Was fucking hammered. You know, we got home 4 or 5 in the morning. I used to have to be at work at 10 o'clock. So like I said, I had to go like this and like that. I got to work at 10:15, go to fuck home. I was 15 minutes late. Would you miss the train? Go home.
Yeah.
Plus, I probably looked shot.
Yeah, of course.
You know? But I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean go home? I was like, fuck you. I went home, whatever. But then I lost a day's pay.
Right.
That hurt, right?
It hurts.
My mother's fucking yelling at me. Your embarrassment is, and it taught me a lesson. Like, you know what? The next day, I went to work at fucking 9:59. I was there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But that's the difference between a successful pizzeria. Like Mark from Lucali's we were talking about, for a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
His product is amazing.
Yep.
You know, a lot of the guys in the industry who, if you look at the success, and you don't have to be there. There's sometimes people say, "Oh, I haven't seen you." That's what you groom your staff for. You turn them into baby yous.
Yeah.
All you know, that's how you expand. You have to get a leader, and not be. You don't have to. He leads by example. You don't have to be a boss. There is no boss. You know.
Right.
And if so, why my staff respects me again? Not to bring up my sickness, but when I was sick, I'd be at work. 3 days ago, I had chemo. I had a chance of getting exposed to anything being sick, but I was still there, and they respect me. I was in the fucking trenches with them.
Right.
Right? So you love what you do, give it your all, and the reward will be you'll reap.
I think that's one of the biggest things that some people miss is like, hey, I'm not saying you have to do it every day, but you got to let them know that, you know, you got to get in there on a Friday night. And if they don't already know, and you got to show them, hey, I did this for 15 years and do it with them, and then you're going to get...
So, but I told you, I don't put toppings on my upside down. Right. I will not. So, my sometimes you get, you know, one pizza guy, why would you put it? Because I won't.
Yeah.
I won't. Well, you can get, I won't.
Yeah.
Because, what I tell you for,
well, that's a big problem. I get that. I used to get that all the time.
But I cook from raw dough.
Right.
And I use Rosa Grande.
Well, you're talking about though people like telling you, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Exactly.
Like they try to tell you, like,
but
why don't you open up your pizzeria and do whatever you want?
Exactly. But what you just said, I've been doing this now on my own. This is my 20th year on my own. Yeah. I'm not. Don't tell me it works. Obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna change. You know, like the Rosa Grande pepperoni. You can't cook that for a half hour in the oven. Mike Squares take 25. So if you walk right now, let's say we're in my pizzeria. It's just me and you. We're behind the counter. He orders a square pie. He's waiting 25 minutes. Right? Usually pizzerias, what do? They grab a fucking par-baked square out of the fridge. They put it on the pan. Little oil, sauce, cheese, 10 minutes. Yep. Boom, it's ready. No, I'm not that. That's not us. The pie's got to cook. And the way I make my dough, I charge it. Just like the Italian pizzas, or I have a char. It's not burnt. It's a nice char. You know when you taste a burnt pizza, it tastes burnt. But my pizza's dark. It still comes out dark, and it doesn't have that taste. It's so good. It really is good. I don't think I'm the best, because no one is the best.
Right.
Everybody's palate's different. There are times, like I said, I'll go to try another pizzeria. I'm like, man, this fucking pizza's delicious.
It's subjective whether it's a subjective thing, like who's actually the best, but objectively you're one of the best out there. Like you can name, you know, the guy, like especially when you think about the fact that there's, you know, 30,000 independent pizzerias. Like we can name the 100 best. Yes. You know what I mean? We can easily figure that out.
You can, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. Really, like my headquarters. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's where Six Flags is, for those who don't know.
Exactly. So, and I actually won another award. Was like the best pepperoni. I make a honeymoon pie. Okay. So it's a thin, crispy square. Okay. I use a blend of fresh mozzarellas, a beautiful fresh plum tomato sauce, right? Italian plum tomato sauce. I use Rosa Grande pepperoni, imported the pepperoni, right? Yeah. Then I finish it with honey, not Mike's honey. There's a local guy honey. And always 2 fists, Pecorino Romano. Right. It was voted #1 pie you must try before you die in Jersey.
Nice.
Isn't that great?
That's fucking awesome.
So how do I come up with that? I go to work every day. I'm sure you do too, right? When you go to work.
Well, I got my lab upstairs.
But,
so
yeah, you got the
I
lab,
go fuck around.
But look, people always people think going in a fucking restaurant or a pizzeria or whatever, even the extensive menu that I have, you know what you're gonna eat every day. I have no fucking clue what I'm eating tomorrow. Right. And I'm always starving. I got a million things to choose from, but I always dream of different ideas. Like you have your lab, my lab is in my head in my house. That's how I came up with that pie. So, I love fucking honey. So I said, let me try tweak this to that, and this pie is one of my best sellers.
That's awesome.
And we call it the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Then I have another pie like Italian style. I give them names, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I have another square pie that people were breaking my balls for pepperoni on the square. So I had to come up with something, cook a certain way so it don't burn. So I came up with this pie. It's delicious. Thick square with pepperoni. So what do I name it? I invented it in Jersey. I call it the NJ square.
Okay.
And people love it. Made in New Jersey.
Nice.
You know? So I think me, not just me. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not, because it's me and my staffs, my 3 stores, my manager. I come up with the ideas. I put them together, and I show them how I want it.
Yeah.
And I think besides the great quality and obviously taste, that it's a whole sale, and it works.
Right. And they got to execute.
So
what
basically, all you do now,
yeah.
exactly, they execute the way we want it.
Yep. No, 100%.
And I think we deserve that. We were busted our asses.
Yeah, it's you put the money down. It's your freaking
That's
store.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You built up
We
the
have the
name. You built up
responsibility.
everything. Yeah, people are counting on you. Let me ask you a question. When did you start seeing? There's a lot of debate around this in the community, and nobody could really nail it down. When did you start seeing grandma pies popping up on the scene? You've been in the pizza game for a long time.
The first time we started making the grandma pie is really, it's got a great name. I like the name of it, grandma pie. Like mine is called the nonna pie.
Yeah.
It's like grandma used to make pizza back in the day when we were kids. So if you go to Italy, they still cut it with a
That's where
scissor.
it comes from.
Correct.
But I don't think it started popping.
So honestly, you know who I think did it? Who started it and everybody followed it? It was Umberto's.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was one of the first guys.
That's the main thing out there. There's some things like where there was a guy in Bay Ridge in the 90s or something that like...
That was Nino's.
Okay.
But he's still there.
Yeah.
He made a great grandma pie, but he still was after Umberto's.
Okay.
We started at Chicho's probably in 99. It was at that time my uncle was semi-retired. I always thought I was going to take this place over. I wouldn't have lasted there that many years.
Right.
Not for free. I didn't think... But I busted my ass. I took her from a round and square shop, Chicho's Pizza. Bro, that place 6 days a week. Who does that today?
Right.
9 o'clock, even on Friday and Saturday, 9 o'clock we closed.
Yeah.
Now it's 10
They
o'clock.
had the cafe next door too, right?
Yeah, that was my other Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
So I always thought I would get that place. Whatever. My cousin came, he got it, and he deserves it. He's the son, absolutely. But I wouldn't have lasted there that long. And he incorporated a grandma pizza, and the way we used to make it at Chicho's was different than we do now. You can't do it now. You can, but it's harder. We would put the dough in the pan, let it set a minute, stretch it out, then put all the stuff on it and cook it. Just keep changing spots if you can to burn it.
Okay.
But you can't do that today. We need volume,
right.
so you have to pre-cook the shells now.
Okay.
Par bake.
Right.
The grandma shells. I don't know if you do that in your store.
I do the opposite of what you said. So I didn't always. I started out like I would cook the squares fresh. Then I learned some techniques from John Arena where I started par baking Sicilians, but grandmas I always put in raw. I pretty much my grandma is like
raw is better.
It's kind of like an updated version of what I did at your cousin's place.
Yeah.
So at your cousin's place, it was you would take the.
But the sauce is different.
Well, yeah, the sauce is
on the grandma.
Right.
That's
well, a
what
lot
makes
of
it a
guys will
grandma.
do like a
'Cause
marinara sauce.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that's
You'll
what
do like
grandma
a cooked
cooked.
sauce. Absolutely. I do like what Johnny's method was just you take the garlic and oil, you brush it on, and then you put the cheese, just grande cheese, and then from the corner to the end, you're doing the stripes.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
I did the same thing except when I opened my place, but I put like a lot less grande, like just a sprinkle, and then I put pecorino, then the stripes, then fresh mozzarella in between the stripes, and then post-bake Parmigiano Reggiano, basil, and extra virgin olive oil. So it was just like, adding,
My grandma used fresh mozzarella.
Yeah, mine did too.
So I use fresh mozzarella, and then I use a sauce. And inside the sauce, it was a raw sauce, plum tomatoes. I had olive oil in it, garlic, some other spices. Red pepper was a big one, right?
Right.
I would dab it. So I'll go four up, 4 across.
Okay.
So let's say 16 dabs, right? Nice.
Like dabs, like spots.
Finish it with oregano, no pecorino.
Okay.
Cook it, done. That was my grandma. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I have another square pie, very thin, same shell. It's grande and fresh mozzarella with a different type of sauce. That's called a pita special. It's like my second bestseller. And then when it comes out, I finish it with the olive oil, pecorino romano, and fresh basil.
Nice. Yeah,
So I have a couple of similar different ones.
What I do like for my grandma pie isn't what my grandmother did like growing up, and everybody's grandmother did a different thing. You know, one of the things I definitely want to bring back one day into the pizzeria. She used to do like a double crust ricotta spinach, type of pie that she used to do on Sundays. But speaking of that, what did your mother was from the other side. She was from this mountain town. What was like some of the like maybe more uncommon dishes that she used to make? Like stuff that you don't like see every day.
My mother would make another minestra, string beans and potatoes in a red sauce. Phenomenal.
A lot of minestra on the
lot of minestra, yeah. Because we're peasants. It's the same thing. Pasta. My mother makes her own gavadil. My mother's gavadil. Forget it. I'll eat 5-6 bowls. There's a Restaurant Depot carries. It's Valdiano. It's a green. If you ever go to Restaurant Depot, it's a green bag.
Okay.
It's imported from Sanza. Salerno, which is a couple of towns away. When I went to Italy, I actually went there.
Okay.
As close as I'm going to get to my mother's fresh pasta. Right. But my mother made her own cavadil. Then the leftovers, she would turn into tagliatelle.
Right.
The chicken on the bone, potatoes, just old school, just simple rustic dishes,
Yeah.
That now they're supposedly they're fancy.
Yeah.
Tripe, like you brought up before, my mother would make a lot. Christmas we had the fishes,
right?
But we have bacala.
Oh, let me ask you about that because you go back and forth to Italy. So there's a lot of like Italians out there that says that's fucking like a fake thing that was invented in America.
It is.
It is an Italian American thing.
I mean, they do have fish in Italy, but not like over here. But because you got to remember, if you live in the mountain, if you live along the coast, maybe more.
Right.
But there's no fucking fish where I come from, bro. I'm 1,600 feet above sea level. Remember growing up as a kid, every house you went to, Italian American, they had a sewing machine.
Even my mother, and she was born over here. She sewed whatever you want.
You bought a pair of pants, you didn't go to the cleaners or Macy's didn't hem it for you. Your fucking mother did it.
Did they have the plastic on the couch, your family?
Of course. Motherfucker sweating in the summer.
You know it's fucking hilarious. Like after I got older, you grow up with it. But after I got older, I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, you can't buy a couch like this. Where were they getting this done? And I think it's still there on Avenue U. There's a spot on Avenue U.
Actually, it was a Jewish guy on 86th Street that did all the neighborhood.
That he did your guy. I'm telling you, there's a spot though on Avenue U. Somewhere.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. That was
there was a guy, and you go in.
He'd come to your house, he measured everything out, and then the next thing you know, you have fucking plastic.
What about the
that was the upstairs. Nobody went up there.
Yeah.
You had fucking Jesus everywhere. You had all the China nobody touched. You could.
My aunt's got my son's mother, like she, old we used to be together back in the day. I had a kid with her when I was young. But the first time she came over my family's house, she was over my aunt's house, and I don't even notice this shit because I've been around it my whole life. But she pulls me aside. She goes, yo, why does the carpet have plastic on it? So she's got one of those ornamental rugs where the coffee table is, and the ornamental rugs got the plastic on it. And I was like, and I never even, you know what I mean? It's not something I think about.
You gotta walk on plastic. You get to the plastic.
So she's like, what? Why? What is that? Yeah. And I was like, it's something they do. It keeps it nice.
There's probably my aunt's house on Van Sickler. She probably still has that. But whoever, as they pass away, it goes away.
Yeah. It was a hilarious thing, though. I fucking love that shit. The fucking sound it makes when you fucking sit on it, too.
And the
squeaks.
You sweat.
Oh, yeah, you sweat all over it. Then my grandmother would come with the Windex and fucking clean it.
Then when they would take it off for whatever reason, like especially if it was like a sofa bed, be like, leave it like, no. All right, whatever.
Oh, it's funny stuff.
But it's good. We look, most of us all were raised that way, right? We all came out good.
Oh, yeah.
Learned lifelong lessons, right?
No, 100%.
Great memories.
We got hilarious stories to tell about our fucking families for the rest of our lives. You tell the kids.
There's a story for every season, every month.
What about who were the guy? I remember seeing them when I was a kid, but I never had a fig tree where I had to hire them, so I don't know who they were.
A fig tree.
But there was guys that they used to go around and wrap all the fig trees. Remember that? You pay them like fucking $50 or $100.
They would put a plastic bucket around the fig tree and then wrap it with garbage bags.
Yeah.
Because They usually didn't survive in the winter.
Yeah, you had to wrap it for the winter, and then it would come back.
And then it would come back. I love figs.
Yeah, figs are good.
Oh.
Well, you know, I was doing a little research on it. You know why people, because you wouldn't really see guys with like lemon or orange trees or cactus pears or other things that were subtropical. You'd see the figs. And I found out why.
Why?
Because now sometimes you find them. But think about, you couldn't buy fresh figs when you were a kid.
You never. I don't think you
could.
Can you?
Yeah, sometimes you find them now. They'll be a shop right at a certain season. It's hard to get them good, but they're around. But when I was a kid and when you were a kid, they weren't there.
No.
So the reason why they had the fig trees is and not lemon, because they could go buy a lemon. They could go buy an orange. And they didn't really see it like, now we know it's like the lemons in fucking Italy are different. You know what I mean? Now we know that, but they weren't thinking like that. They were like, hey, a lemon's a lemon, but I need my figs.
In 2018, when I first got one of my, I just finished my chemo. No, I'm not. I just finished it around at my. I just got a scan, and it was good. So I asked my doctor. I says, hey, can I go to Italy? It was 2018. I want to go in September. He said, go ahead. When you going, it's in between 2 treatments. He goes, go ahead. Go. That's what he still said. Go live your life. And I did. We went, me and Susan, my wife, and we stood 5 days at Positano. Bro, do you want to talk about fucking lemons?
Oh, yeah. Over there, it's
We
insane.
went to this on the beach.
They look funny, too.
Oh, my God. They look like my nipples, the ends.
Yeah.
We had this lemon gelato out of a lemon.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And one guy, because most of the times, they're all like us. Like, one thing about Italians, we don't shut the fuck up. Once you get us going, we talk.
Yeah.
So this guy had my ear for like a half hour about lemons. And he said it was the combination of the earth where they up right in the area and the sea wind, I guess the salt.
Okay, the salt coming through.
Yeah, that's why if you go to Capri, the island Capri, Positano, the fucking lemons are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And big. It's just
100%.
And there's this one guy has just trees of them up top in the mountain in Positano. It was great.
So I think I tried to tell you this like 3 times before the podcast, but for some reason I kept on like veering off in a different direction. But yeah, so we went to the Grande facility, Grande cheese, of course. And I've been like calling up Matt, who's like the Jersey Grande guy, to try to get in touch.
Matt.
Yeah.
Good guy.
He's been trying to call me all day. I got to call him back. But they brought in 163 fruit trees, subtropical fruit trees from Sicily. Because the guy's from Sicily. Well, his father's from Sicily originally.
How the hell did he even get them here?
What they did was they got just pieces like to graft.
What kind of trees?
Bro, everything. Lemon, blood orange,
oh wow.
Fucking all kinds of plums and pears and everything from
them?
Sicily on the property
in Wisconsin?
In Wisconsin. So listen to this. This is really interesting. So they found some like tree botanist, scientist, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And what they did was, because he didn't want to have it in a greenhouse, he wanted it on the land.
On the land.
So what they did was they grew the trees. They took all it's called grafting. So if you take like a branch off of a lemon tree and then you cut it in a certain way,
yes,
it'll grow roots.
Yes.
So then they keep it in the greenhouse for like 4 or 5 years and bring it out in the summer. And then once it gets big enough, then they graft local roots from local oak trees that are the same age into the roots of the lemon, right?
And it grew?
And then now, once you do that, now you can plant it in New Jersey. You know how cold Wisconsin gets? It's colder than here.
Hell yeah.
It's like fucking Canada.
Yeah.
You know? It's fucking wild up there. It's like living in Buffalo. So now they can have lemon trees and blood orange trees that don't need to go inside, don't need to be wrapped, and grow all year round. Well, not grow all year round,
gotcha. When it's in
but they don't die. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So now I'm looking into it because my boy Micah Vittorio in Long Island wants to do it. I want to do it at my mother's house. I want to start going like.
Does your mother have land or not? Not much. Right?
She has enough for a few trees. Yeah, no.
The tomatoes grow great.
Bro, I got nothing, bro. I got what? I got 15 by 20 outside. I did 120 pounds of food.
If you Google Cream Ridge, where I live, that's why there's so many farms there. There's something with the soil.
Yeah, right.
It's, and same in New Egypt. That's why La Rita's has a great winery there.
Right.
And I had the wine. We went to the festival there a couple of weeks ago, a food truck fest, and it was great. We had a great time, and I love having a yard. I do.
I'm gonna. If I ever do, I'm gonna do it. I'll probably be out there by spring.
Well, you got my number.
But no, yeah, I'll definitely hit you up. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring, because now in today's day, you probably could do it, but like in the 1990s or the 2000s, but maybe not, because how would you? But today, because of the internet and globalization and everything, now if I could buy a truckload of volcanic ash and dump it all over the soil. I could get any amenities I want to make soil, amend the soil to be. That's what I do in my backyard on a very small scale.
Gotcha.
But I could do it on a bigger scale.
Oh, and Jersey, yeah, you get more property.
And then what I do is I'll show you. I didn't get to show you, but I'll show you outside. So I got a worm farm outside.
Worm?
Right? Yeah. So I got composters all around, and then I got a worm farm. And what the worm farm, it's like a composter. So what I do is every, when we cook. So, when you cook, you got the carrot ends and the celery and the, all the shit that you throw away, right? I blend it up. It goes in there. Then the worms eat all my cardboard from the Amazon boxes, all the paper from the mail.
It's almost like a septic tank.
But they eat it. Yeah, but it doesn't stink or anything, and they eat it all. And then that's the most nutritious soil. That shit costs fucking like $40.
Well, that's why they used to say horse shit.
Right.
Was the best fertilizer.
Well, yeah, I actually there's a wet market around the corner. I get the chicken shit, the fucking pig shit. I get it all.
That's what they do in Italy. They throw it all.
You throw it all. That's the whole thing. Is like, you have like kind of a poly farm, like Joe Salson type of thing going on. You know what I mean? Like where it's all together. So
So that's what he did in Wisconsin, huh?
Yeah, bro, it's fucking wild. It's like Italian Google over there. So they have a medical a medical lab with full-time doctors and a lab in it for blood work, right? Available to all 1,200 of the employees and their families, free of charge for whatever. Then they have like one of those like isolation tanks where it's like you go lay in it. And if you're at work and you need to decompress, you just go upstairs, you go in the thing, you fucking relax for 10 minutes, and you can't hear anything and you can't see anything, and then you get out and you go back to work.
That's awesome.
It's like a fucking tech firm now. It's fucking crazy.
That's great.
Yeah, but it's like now the trees from Italy, they're still young, the 163 that they brought over, but they had apple trees and nectarines everywhere. We're walking around the property like I'm in fucking, we're just picking in Italy. I'm fucking having lunch.
That's fucking great.
That's what happened when I went to Grippo too. When you walk down the piazza, bro, there's fucking figs and lemons and oranges and apples just hanging off the trees.
In the small towns in Italy, the bigger towns, no, like in the center of Rome, no, but like these little beach towns, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is like up in the fucking mountains. This
where
is the
I come
boonies.
from, where I'm in the boonies, they got fucking chestnut trees. The chestnuts.
That's a big thing over there.
Yeah,
during the war, they used to, or during Mussolini's reign, rather, they used to grind orzo or chestnuts into and sell. It was fake coffee, because they couldn't get the coffee. So people wanted coffee, so it was orzo coffee. And I actually know old school guys from the other side
my mother
that still drink the orzo coffee. You can still buy it. You can buy it like on Amazon and stuff. And they get it because it's one of those nostalgic things. Wow. You know what I mean? It's a fucking crazy thing. All right, we're going to take one more break for our sponsors, and then we'll be right back.
I gotta go make.
I used to champ these things out. Did you ever hear what happened to me in Gravesend?
No. What?
All the drama back in the day when I was at Johnny's?
No.
You never heard about any of that?
I don't even know why you left. Did you leave to go on your own, or?
Because Johnny said I couldn't work there anymore.
I don't remember.
Because of what happened. So what happened was, I used to, I was hanging out at the cafe and everything like that, and there was this kid, I think he's locked up now forever. He lived across the street from the pizzeria. His name was Rob DiCarlo, but everybody called him De Niro.
Rob the car. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, he was a young kid. He was like younger than me. I'm 36, so he was.
You are young.
Yeah. So, well, when I first started working at Johnny's, he was like kind of like the counter guy, delivery guy helper, and then his uncle was like some juiced up guy and like had something in the union and got him a union job. Now him and all of his friends turned into fucking, we used to call them like the zombie crew. They were all young kids and they were fucking on like Xanny bars all day. So he quit the pizzeria, started doing the union, but they got all like fucked up on drugs. So one day he walks into the pizzeria and I'm behind the counter and he goes, yo, I need, I don't know, I think it was like $200 or something like that, or $200. And I was like, listen, bro, I'm not like I'm not a fucking loan shark. Like, I'm not a bank. I'm not a loan shark. I'm not a cash lender business. Like, I don't make a lot of money. And he's got this, he's like, listen, I got the union job. I'll pay you back. Don't worry about it. You know me. I live right across the street. Like, I can see his door from Johnny's spot. And so he's got this big chain. The chain easily, it's a big fucking fat gold chain. Easily I could go to the pawn shop. The guy will give me $600, like no questions asked, just for the gold. Yeah. So I take the chain and, I give him the money. And he comes back. I'm seeing the kid. I'm like, you got the money? Not yet. 2-3 weeks. Finally he comes in. He's like, I was like, oh, you got my money finally? He's like, yeah. He's like, you got my chain? And I was like, yeah. And I had it like hit it in the back. So I grabbed the chain up behind the counter and he goes, yo, is that my chain? I said, yeah, that's your chain. And he fucking snatches it and walks outside. He doesn't even take off. He's standing outside talking to the girl, the daughter of the guy from the bakery next door. Right? So I go walk outside like, I was like, what are you fucking joking around right now? What's going on? He's like, yo, you get the fuck out of here. I'm like, what? He's like, get the fuck out of here. And puts his hand, like his finger on my head and pushes it. I fucking rocked this kid so hard. He goes into the middle of the fucking street, right?
Oh, shit.
He gets up. He runs at me. I fucking crack him like he was like running like a bull. I just step to the side and crack him with my knee. I start fucking cracking this kid. So he's all fucked up. He goes away. There's all this drama. Now, I'm working. Johnny's not there, right? The new delivery kid, whose name was also Rob, is fucking losing his fucking shit. He's like, Johnny's going to fucking murder you. What the fuck are you doing? I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So now I'm sitting in the pizzeria. Now this kid's got fucking like a gang of like 10 fucking kids outside trying to fucking like wait. They won't go in the pizzeria because they're not going to disrespect Johnny. But as soon as I walk out of there, you know what I mean? They're going to fucking jump me. So now JB and Crystal Bait come over. And they're like, yo, what's going on? I tell them what's going on. And JB more than LeBate, but like just fucking flip out on these guys. They're like, if anybody touches this kid, you know what I mean? We're going to fucking crack all of you fucking numbnuts. So, and I'm in the fucking basement looking for pipes. Like I'm looking for like whatever I could get, you know what I'm saying? So then I go over to the cafe and they're all hanging out across the street. And it was like, whatever. So this goes on for like 2 weeks. This goes on for, for like 2 weeks or whatever. So now DeCarlo disappears the next day. We don't see him anymore, right? And everybody's wondering where he is. When I hit him, I fucking shattered his jaw. A few days later, his mother walks into the pizzeria. She's like, hey, is Nino here? I'm like, I'm Nino. They're like, she's like, what did you do to my son? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Where is he? And she's like, he's got to get his whole jaw replaced with metal. Like, it's shattered. They had to remove all the bones. Shit. He's at Coney Island Hospital. Yeah, so then I tell her what's going on. She's like, I'm sorry. He's fucked up. I was trying to... No, she knew he was fucked up. Like, she knew I wasn't lying to her. And then this kid's got this whole... the kid? He was on West 6th Street. He was a younger kid. The mother hung herself. I think he was Angelo. The mother, I think she hung herself on the basketball hoop over on West 6th Street.
Oh, shit.
She, committed suicide. So it was... this was years before, obviously, but it was this kid. He was, the leader of their crew. So they were hanging out across from the cafe, and I would have Butchie. Remember Butchie?
Yeah.
Butchie would like drive me home, so they didn't fucking jump me after I hung out at the cafe. So then one day they come over, and Johnny's outside, and John from
Cafe.
Yeah, from cafe, and everybody's there. And the kid Andrew's like, "Oh, okay, listen, you fight me. If you win, it's over. If you lose, you're off the avenue." And I was like, and Johnny's like, "Don't do it." And I'm like,
Who was the kid?
I think it was Angelo. It was one of the kids. So there were two brothers, and the mother hung themselves. That's it was on West 6th Street. He was like a bigger kid. He was probably like 5'11", 6 foot.
What was that?
He wasn't like a big kid, but he was like a tall kid, And so I went around the corner, and Frankie Russo, Blue Eyes, was there, and these guys, and I I threw this kid like a fucking sick beating. Like the
Frankie
kid
Russo died.
Yeah, he definitely died.
Motorcycle.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Frankie. Oh,
I'm talking about Crazy Frankie.
Frank,
that got
he died. Yeah.
Blue Eye. Yeah, he definitely
was
passed
nuts.
away.
He was older than us. He was older than me. Oh yeah, I forgot about
he used
Frankie.
to, according to everybody at the cafe back then, like
That was,
he used to be like a fucking big time knockaround guy,
Yes.
and then he got in a car
His
accident.
brother was Mad Dog. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, and he lost his senses. Yes.
He lost his sense. Yeah, he was like he was
Brother
always
was
a little-
Mario Russo. Mad Mario.
Yeah. But people used to tell me stories. They were like, "Yo, if you knew him back in the day, he had a girl on each arm. He was a fucking monster guy." But then after he went through a windshield, according to them, and then he lost his
that
senses.
I remember, but the hanging, I don't remember.
Yeah, so I threw this kid a beating, and then his crew, but everybody from the cafe's there, and the crew starts fucking throwing bottles. Frankie Russo grabs a knife out of my pocket and starts fucking swinging it at him, like going crazy, like, "You fucking punks."
So that's how you left.
Well, what happened after that was they were scared to go in Johnny's because I was working there, and like they thought the place was gonna get shot up because these kids were like, whatever, feeling a certain way or whatever.
And Anthony.
That might be, yeah. No, not the twins. It wasn't the twins. No, the twins. The twins were way older than me. No.
Well, they died.
The twins would have murdered me if I fucked with them.
Yeah, they were found dead in 2000, April 2000.
Yeah, wasn't one of them
18.
decapitated?
They were 38. They would be 30. No, they were a couple years older than you.
Yeah,
No, they weren't decapitated. They were both shot, stabbed, and I think.
but they were
burned.
dumped on the street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
That was sad on Highland Avenue and West.
Yeah.
5th.
No, yeah, I was
By the
there.
tree.
I was there when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Angelo. I know one kid, Angelo, but I don't know if it was him. But
Like I lived on West 8th and Highland.
yeah.
Yeah.
So West 8th and Highland by BBA. All right.
You got any so after that Johnny just came to me and he's like, "Listen, man, I don't want to let you go, but nobody wants to come in the pizzeria. People in the neighborhood, like regular people, they're like scared to go in the pizzeria." So then
Well, some of those younger kids back then were a little nuts, because of the drugs.
Yeah,
Crack was
exactly. Yeah. Well, they shot at me a couple times, so
They were big. There was a different era. It was the last of them. That was the last of the Mohegans.
Yep. But then what happened was I went into the American Orgy. I ended up getting a job at like some zip place in Williamsburg, and then I was commuting to there. And then my cousin Tommy Catalano, who originally taught me how to make pizza, who was like half a knockaround guy himself, him and this other dude Momo brought me out to Florida. And they were like, "Listen, we're going to do this thing, and then we're going to Florida. You want to come?" And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it.
Okay,
Yeah, let me go."
We're in Florida.
We were living in Pompano Beach, and then we used to hang out at Deerfield, and we'd go to Miami, of course. I bought a motorcycle when I got out there, so it was like, bro, I could go to Miami to Pompano in like less than a half an hour, you know what I mean? So we were all over the place, and then we got in a lot of trouble out there. That was fucking like some cowboy shit out there.
Back in Florida in the 90s, it was nuts. 2000s.
It wasn't even in it was in the 2000s, but we were like. So we lived. I'll tell you one Florida story. So we lived in this. Tommy and Momo got this. It was like some apartment complex, like condo apartment, whatever, right off of what was it? The main highway, 95.
The Intercoastal? Well, okay. The main
It was like,
Right,
yeah,
go ahead.
it was one of those like you see in Jersey, you know what I mean? So all the houses, they had Spanish roofing tiles, all the apartment complex. So they were going to replace them. So they had these pallets just sitting in the parking lots, in different parking lots of the roof, like giant. Like, it wasn't one pallet. It was like fucking 10 pallets stacked up right next to each other, these things. You know, those things are like fucking $6 a pop. So we rented trucks.
No.
What?
Computer crashed.
God damn it. This is a fucking good story.
It was. We got the audio right now, but
Got the audio right now? All right, fuck it. So, you sure you got the audio?
positive I got the audio.
All right. So we got these kids, and there's a kid, Jamaican kid that lived across the street from us, and then there was this other Spanish kid who was from Newark that we hooked up with, and then we had a couple of Spanish guys that we knew from the pizzeria that Tommy was working at, and we rented moving trucks. And we parked them on both sides of it and like made an assembly line and loaded them all up like to the fucking top with the fucking things. And before we did it, we had rented a down the street about, a mile or two down the road was one of those outdoor storage facilities. So we didn't want to bring them in the day. Well, we couldn't bring them in the day because we had to do it at night. So the place closes, and they didn't have like key cards you could go in back then. But what we figured out is the lock on the gate was a magnet. So all you had to do was, it was literally, you had to jump the fence and there was a plug. That was a 110 volt plug that you just unplug and then the magnet stops working.
Oh, shit.
Right?
So you got in.
Yeah, well, we had figured this all out before we grabbed the tiles. So then so I'm after we load up the trucks, Tommy's in one truck driving, Momo's in the other one, and I'm on the motorcycle. And like I said, it's I-95. So as soon as you pull out of the development, you're on there. And then we had to go down 2 miles, flip around, and then go into the thing. They're doing 30 miles per hour. So I'm like next to him on the bike, and I'm like beeping the horn. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, I'm flooring it. It's too heavy. And the fucking thing's sitting. I'm fucking
Those towels
pissing.
are heavy, man.
Bro, I'm pissing my pants. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, we're going to get pulled over because you're doing 30 miles per hour. It would be like if you're doing 30 miles per hour on a fucking NJ Parkway, bro. It was a fucking disaster. So... yeah, but that's how. I mean, I used to come back to the neighborhood back then. Like once I got back from Florida, like a year and a half later, I used to go back all the time. But eventually, the cafe closed. There was no reason to go back.
He moved to the hill.
Huh?
He moved John, then they opened up on the hill. The father then.
Yeah, but it was never the same.
No, it was never the same.
It was never the same. That hill play, they tried to do a lot. Marcello is still there with his mother.
Marcello's still there, and
Carmine's doing really good for himself. Carmine's big guy. He went out to Cali and
he's in California.
Not anymore.
I haven't seen him.
He's back now.
I haven't seen him in years.
He's been back.
Marcello.
I've been seeing him a lot. I saw Marcello. I think I drove out there maybe like a month or two ago, and saw him. It was place is empty, just knocking around. And
with
Carmine, I'm in touch with all the time. He's
vaccination card.
Yeah, he got involved with like a bunch of legit weed stuff and like big companies, and it's been killing it.
Well,
people love him.
It's legal in Cali.
Huh?
They have growers in Cali.
Well, no, that's what he did. He got involved.
My friend
with
Jason
these
is
guys.
out there now. He's got he puts it on his Instagram. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, they're. I mean, it's gonna be legal everywhere. So.
Well, I told you that before. They need the money.
No, 100%.
Weed and gambling.
New York does it. Everybody does it. I mean, the gambling isn't the sports betting legal almost everywhere.
No, not really. Not everywhere. It's about
Jersey
10 states. So there's 40 more to go.
Okay.
New York, it's not legal yet.
New York is.
So everybody goes over the bridge, places their bets, and goes back.
I am telling you because I watched what happened with fucking UFC. I can't believe they made the weed legal. Because the problem with New York is it's not that they're like not progressive or forward looking. It's that Albany is so fucking corrupt, old school New York politics, that nothing can get done until everybody wets their fucking beak.
Everybody's got to get a piece of something.
Everybody's got to get a piece of something.
Everybody
we
wants
were the
to eat.
last state to let UFC be legal.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the boxing commissions and this guy and this guy, they all had to figure out how are we going to make money.
Boxing's not like it was anyway. Not when I was a kid.
Not at all. all. Well, we used to watch all the fucking bro,
Tyson. I remember I went to the bathroom. I came back. The fucking fight was over with Tyson.
One of my biggest memories from Gravesend was, going in the back of the cafe and watching, Ricky Hatton versus fucking Mayweather and, Judah and the kid from the neighborhood. What was his name? Paulie?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in Gravesend. Oh, season 1.
I know. Yeah, I saw
He
him. He
actually
got killed.
He acted pretty good in the fight.
Yeah. Nah, he did all right. Yeah, they. Have you been involved with that at all? You know those guys, right?
Yeah, I grew up with Willie. I actually spoke to him today. I says, "Are you filming in Jersey? I want to go see him." I'm gonna say, "Buddy, you got to shoot in my fucking store. You got to blow me up over here."
Yeah.
So I spoke to him today. But he's been busy. I go back with Willie. Do you remember that? You probably don't even remember the 86th Street days, huh?
Not.
No.
I mean, I remember
So
from when
86th
I was
Street
around.
used to fucking cruise up and down.
What Willie's portraying? No,
Yeah.
I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, so that I was.
Yeah.
You go down 86th Street, hop around the 18th Avenue car wash, come back down 80th Street, come to the square. That was the turn. Go back around, pull over. That was the thing. Friday and Saturday nights back in the day, and then like everything else, they made it where they put up all these no parking signs so you couldn't do, and they broke it up.
But you keep on saying like. See, this is a confusing thing for me. You keep on saying it was safe, it was safe, it was safe. Like, I mean, yeah, but I don't remember it being that fucking safe. Like,
Well, it depends what crew you ran with.
right.
I mean, if you, I wasn't to say I wasn't in anybody. I wasn't, but, just if you portrayed respect, you got respect.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, the crew I ran with got respect. I mean, there was other sick crews back. I mean, there was sick motherfuckers.
When you guys were like the Wheelie Boys and this and that?
No, they were the Wheelie Boys. That was Mario.
They were after you.
Yeah, no, that was a whole different. Crew. I think they're still around.
Are they?
Yeah,
They were like crazy.
That
What was that
Mario.
girl's name that Johnny?
She passed away.
Did she? No. What was her name?
Laura.
She was crazy. I loved her.
Yeah, she was fucking
was
nuts.
fucking
She had
awesome.
the Barbie quad.
Bro, she
the
was out of her
motorcycle.
mind.
Yeah, she was out of her mind.
I loved her though. She was such a sweet
She fucking
human.
pissed. She pistol whipped my friend. Never forget that.
I believe that 100%.
Yeah, my friend. She was fucking nuts, Laura.
She
Laura
was a
Dirtbag.
sweetheart though. She
Yeah.
was a sweetheart. Like
Everybody fell
she
in
was a
love with her.
nutcase. Like if you weren't like,
No, she
I mean, if
fucking
you
cut
were on
you.
a bad side, she would kill you.
If you're
but
her boyfriend and you fucked her over, she'd kill you.
But if you were like, I was always on good terms with her. She was sweet. She was always sweet.
Oh,
to
me too. So
Yeah.
part of the good part for me working at Chicho's growing up is I fed all the neighborhoods because we had good pizza.
Yeah.
We were known for the Sophia Loren.
Yeah.
You know?
You want to? I don't know if you know this, but I have the Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren on the
because of
menu?
working at Johnny's on the menu: tomato, garlic,
Yeah.
fresh mozzarella.
So
Where does that come from? Does that? Do you?
let me tell you this story.
Yeah.
So the sesame seed started with we had a sesame seed crust. I still make sesame seed crust pizza.
Yeah. Okay.
So that started with they had the bakery across the street. One day we got some seeds. Let's put on the crust, do something different, right?
Uh-huh.
And it was fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Then another day, my cousin Nicky, who's Chicho's son, he had a pizzeria in Jersey, Garfield, New Jersey. So one day he had leftover fresh mozzarella. And I would work there every once in a while on the weekends, but it was fucking far, man. As a kid, too, 11 o'clock at night, you get home at 12:30, your night was over.
Wait, where was it?
It was called Barone's Pizza in Garfield, New Jersey.
Oh yeah,
This is in
It's
the
a
early
fucking mission.
90s, late
Bro,
80s.
So when I first started with Johnny, I was actually commuting from New Jersey for the first like 3 months.
Really?
Bro, it would take me 5 hours a day.
Oh, forget it.
Bro, because by the time
It's
I
going
got
to
to
take
Penn
me 2 hours to
Station-
get home.
By the time I got to Penn Station,
Oh, you
right,
took
and now
the
I gotta
bus.
go all the way
Oh.
fucking down.
So
No, I
anyway-
took the train to Penn,
Oh,
and
you
then I
took the
took the
train.
N. I would walk a block over. I'd take the N all the way to fucking Gravesend. It was another hour and 20 minutes.
So one day we had some fresh mozzarella, so we made this pizza. We pre-cooked the crust.
Okay.
Took it out. We put some fresh mozzarella, some sliced tomato, fresh garlic, olive oil, and a pecorino romano. We cooked it. I was like, oh, this fucking pie is delicious. It still is. It's still one of my hidden gems in my restaurants
So
today.
you have this Sophia Loren,
Yes.
same name,
Same
on your
exact
menu.
recipe. Bro, we used to sell on Chicho's on a Friday night, maybe 100. You know the process of pre-making shells? Just like old guys would make pre-baked square shells, we were doing round shells Wednesday, Thursday, preparing for Friday and Saturday. Me and my manager that now runs my Manalapan store, my partner, we worked together at Chicho's. So how it got its name was great. And I tell the story all the time because there used to be a coffee shop on Avenue called Mazzoli Coffee. I don't think you remember that, right? They were there fucking 100 years.
Okay.
Literally, they roasted their own coffee. Their coffee was... You walked into this place, it was amazing. He roasted it. It was on Avenue.
So it was like the place at Carroll Gardens almost, next to Sal's Pizza.
This guy was original. Yeah. This guy was third generation now on Avenue.
Yeah.
Owned the building, 2 buildings next door.
Right.
He was like a friggin', he was in the Army. Then the son took over Larry. He was in the Army. Now the only one that's in business right now, forget about the coffee, is the granddaughter owns Gravesend Flair Company. You know, grand opening business. She's the last Mazzolian business, the different type of business, but no, obviously not the coffee business. But what happened was the old man passed. The mother took over and got rid of fucking everything. Sold everything, fucked the kids, got rid of everything, moved out to Long Island, got rid of the business and everything. Right when Starbucks was peaking, like he knew that Larry Mazzoli knew the guy that I'm talking about from Brooklyn.
Really?
So right when coffee was really peaking, you know what I mean? Dunkin' Donuts, everything's just like it is now. They got out of it fucked up.
So
anyway, so he would come to Chicho's for lunch every day. So one day in Brooklyn, I made the pizza. And we put it out to the counter. He had a slice. He's like, holy fuck. He's like, this is ridiculous. What is this? I said, oh, we put a little fresh mozzarella, sliced tomato, 5x6 tomato, garlic, pecorino romano. We bake it. It's like crisp. He goes, man, this tastes as good as Sophia Loren looks.
Get the fuck out of here.
So
Bro,
I've
needed that story for fucking like 10 years.
I go, what'd you say, Larry? He goes, this tastes as good as Sophia. Bro, from that day on, we put it on the menu as Sophia Loren. That's how it got its name at Chicho's, and that's why I carry its name from Peter Pizza to Brooklyn Square. That's the true story.
I'm so happy you told me that story. I mean,
because no one had that.
I've carried that pizza since I worked at your cousin's place.
Yeah, because he probably tried to copy a little bit. He tried to copy a little bit. Still not the same because the sauce and everything. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, same shit.
But no one had a pizza really named. Nobody named their pizza.
Well, no, but if you, I mean, I can say like people. There's guys out there now like that do my apple bacon pizza that I put on the menu. That like nobody had it, but now there's a bunch of people that have it.
Imitation's a form of flaherty.
Absolutely.
People, when I post something on Instagram, you're a jerk off. You're copying L&B. How am I copying L&B? I'm not. L&B's in a class.
Yeah, but you can't listen to those. Those are fucking losers.
You know, how am I copying L&B? They're the only one that made sauce on the top, cheese on the bottom? No. It's mine. I never worked there. I had people like you worked there, you stole a recipe. I never fucking worked there in a day of my life.
I try not to look at the internet, but like, the other day, that picture I showed you, what was it? The one that...
Stop glorifying the
Army of One thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? I was looking at it, I clicked on it. I was looking at the comments, and it's, where the fuck did it go? Oh, yeah, there it is. So there's a guy on there. Look what he's writing. Oh, no. Wait. Oh, no. He must have deleted it. But there was some guy like, oh, you and your fucking rich friends, you and your rich fucking fake friends, blah, 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 posted this shit, this and that. And Donnie writes back to him. He goes, yeah. We try to take care of your mother, because she's got some scumbag fucking son, internet troll who fucking can't fucking take care of her. You know what I mean?
Keyboard gangster.
Yeah.
I get that all the time on my Instagram.
Bro,
I delete and ban.
That's it. Delete it and ban them.
I don't even get into it with them.
These are fucking miserable people. These are miserable people.
They don't get laid.
Else to do.
They got nothing going on with themselves. Whether they're gay or straight, they got nothing going on with themselves.
They think because they were around whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Who the fuck?
They forget that also. You know what? And I wear I wear everything on my sleeve. My emotions on my sleeve.
Yeah.
They think like, oh, we don't read that shit. It doesn't affect. Yeah, it fucking. I'm not gonna say I'm a bitch and cry. No, none of that. But it pisses me the fuck off. Of course.
Of course.
You know, sometimes like I say that to my face.
Bro.
And there be guys that sometimes you catch a customer. You give me a chance to make good on something that went bad before you fucking try to blow me up.
Yeah.
That's the shitty part of our business.
I think Rogan said it best. Joe Rogan said it best. He said, if people talked on the street like they talk in these fucking comments on Twitter and on Instagram,
have no teeth.
there'd be a fucking million broken heads in America in one fucking night.
He's right. It's very easy to
I mean?
go tick, 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 and hide in your mother's basement.
Well, let me tell you something. You think you're a man? You think you're a gangster? Like, yo, take care of your family.
Absolutely.
Do the right thing. Just because you used to be in like some crew and this and that, you know. And men, real men who fucking can take care of their family, who fucking do the right thing by people, and are fucking gentlemen. Which I'm sure you know. You were bringing this guy up from Eagle Cheese who got 40 years. Right or wrong? Was that guy a gentleman on the fucking street?
Most of them all are.
Did he take care of his fucking family? Did he? You know what I mean? You know,
absolutely.
But these ones that are on there, you know, you're not going on the internet if you fucking you don't have time for that shit. No. If you're fucking busy, if you got things going for your life, if you have a family, you know what I'm saying. If you have people that love you, if you're trying to take care of fucking things, you know what I mean. You don't have time for that. It's for fucking miserable people who are fucking. You know, we were talking about jealousy.
It is.
It's not even jealousy.
Well,
it's fucking miserable.
No, it is jealousy. That's the only knock on us Italians.
Yeah.
We're very jealous, envious motherfuckers. Think about it. If we stuck together, we'd rule the world.
Well, I've been hearing that since back in the day on you.
The world.
Yeah.
We have leaders in every industry.
It's even. I think it's more than jealousy. It's part of our culture from the old country that we never got over. It's the clannishness. It's the clickiness.
It's very clicky.
This person. It's the vendetta mentality where it's like if somebody did one wrong to you, like you know, it starts this 30-year beef. You know how many friends I grew up with that come from big Italian families like mine, and you know. This uncle doesn't talk to this fucking aunt, and then their crews are...
Let me tell you a quick story. I'm obviously first generation Italian American. I had 450 people at my wedding. Okay? I got married into Hilton and Garden Inn in Staten Island 18 years ago. My wife's Irish, great. She almost had a fucking heart attack when we had to do the tables.
Because you had to separate so many people.
Oh, it was a job in itself. Who can't go here? I can't go there. I can't put this one there. You got to invite this one. But if you invite this one, then you got to invite that one. Bro, that's the thing in Italians. And they're fucking stubborn. And we're stubborn as fucking as this table, hard as this wood. That's the way we are. But if we stuck together, who's better? And I'm not saying we're the best. Yes, I am saying we're the best. Just look at any industry. Food, clothes, music. Look at it. Art.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
Name something that we didn't excel at. You can't. Food.
Yep.
Who doesn't love Italian food?
Yeah, and people...
Art. Michelangelo. Look at...
I mean, you see everybody and their mother pick up even the cultural things that we did in America 10, 20 years later that we were doing 10, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to name a bunch of shit right now, but, you know, look into it. If you know, you know. You know, we'll leave it at that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, from our drink choices to our car choice and this and that and what we did, you know, everybody else, they pick it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Go for it. We got fucking good taste. And there's nothing wrong with that. We started it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean we don't own anything. But no, you're right. If we stuck together and... I don't know. I think there's still a shot. I think there's still a shot. In the world we live in, as fucked up as the internet has made things in certain aspects, I think it's also done something where, you know, we have an opportunity, you know, in the community leaders to do something good. You know, like we're two pizza guys. Back in the day, we might have looked at each other, or maybe it's not me and you. Maybe it's like two hypothetical
two pizza guys never looked at each other.
And then it's like, you know, I'm not going to do anything to help you out. I'm not going to give you any more press.
No. Or not only that, or you know what? I'm not. You're not. I'm not.
You stole my recipe. Blah blah blah.
You're
blah,
short
blah.
of pepperoni. Fuck you. Go to Restaurant Depot instead of giving it to the guy and he'll owe you
Right.
a bag of pepperoni. If he never gives it to you, you never give him anything again.
That's it.
But that's what I said before. We all pizzerias.
But I think there's still an opportunity to do that.
I don't know.
I
A lot
think-
of pizzerias, new pizzerias too. Not many of them are Italian American either anymore.
Yeah, but they still. You're right, and that's why. I mean, I've said this before publicly. I've told all my friends this, that like. I mean, I'm a doctor when it comes to the fucking dough. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I really understand, and it took a lot of studying, it took a lot of whatever, and the things that I've done. But I have an open. So when I get hired to do consulting, I'm charging 20, 30K. You know what I mean? But I have an open door policy. Anybody that's been in the business for 15 or 20 years that's Italian American, that's like from that school, you know what I mean? You have a question,
you can't teach
you
that.
want to learn, I will teach you for free because I don't want to live in a world where this becomes the Starbucks. You understand what I mean? Where and that's nothing against anybody. I don't care if you're Chinese. I don't care if you're yellow, green, black, or white. Like, go open a pizzeria, be successful. I'll be the first one to congratulate you, and I'll give you all the success in the world.
You
But
can't bring your heritage into it because it's not your heritage. You know what I'm trying to say? Meaning, like,
right.
There's just certain, like, I can't go. But
I'm saying, if some guy calls me and he's like, Nino, I see what you're doing. I want to step up this and that. I'm like, when do you want to meet? I'll show you exactly what to do. And I'm not going to give him a recipe.
You're one in a million.
I'm not going to give him a recipe.
But
I'm going to teach him how to. No, I'll give him a recipe. But that's to me, that's worthless. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to teach him what I know. I'm going to teach him about hydration and percentages and this and that. I'm going to teach him what those things mean. Because, like I said, you get into we could pick the 100 best pizza guys out there objectively, but you can't make your best pizza objectively. Like I can never say I can never say I have the ultimate recipe for New York style pizza. At that point, it's a subjective thing. So what I'm going to do, I'll give you my recipe so you have like a baseline, but then I'm going to teach you how to think. And then that's going to allow you to,
come up with your own ideas.
You can do whatever you want from there.
Because you do have to reinvent yourself in this business.
Yeah, you absolutely
You can't just
do.
stick to one thing.
Well, one of the things that's like not really understood in this whole game that I've come to the realization of, one of the biggest things that happened that made me came to this realization was this guy Tony Osso. He made this movie called Slice the American Dream. It's like a little documentary thing. It's on YouTube.
I gotta watch it.
Bro, it's amazing. Mike and Joe Riggio came to like the opening. They were both fucking crying up in tears. Yeah, so this kid, he's like a filmmaker. He's part of the LGBT community, which, was hard coming from like a first generation Italian family, whatever. But he did this whole documentary about how his parents came from Italy, opened a pizzeria and this and that. And one of the things that I don't think enough people understand is like, especially the Italians in Italy that are running like the STG Neapolitan pizza that has all these rules and everything. When they look at America, they're the biggest ones that don't understand this. But also I think our own community and other communities that are into the pizza game don't understand this in a real way, is that the generations, because there was two diasporas from Italy that created the pizza industry in America, they weren't coming over as pizza chefs. They were coming over as dirt poor immigrants with fucking zero to no skills.
Some of them have baker's background.
Not many, though. When you look at the guys, now when you look at like the original guys, but when you look at Vittorio's father, when you look at probably your uncle, maybe not.
He was a tailor.
Exactly. So what happened was these guys came over, right? And it was like, yo, you want to do bricklaying or concrete? You want to work on the docks?
Yes,
you want to be a pizza guy? You want to do this? And they learn here. So that's why when you see these Neapolitan guys they stretch a different way, they cook the pizza a different way and all that stuff, it was because these guys, more than more than less were coming over from dirt with almost
that's why
no
they came to
skills.
America.
Yes. And then they came over here and, your uncle, your cousin, whoever it is, they own a pizzeria. They're already in Brooklyn. You go learn the trade. You go open a new place. And that's how all these places popped up.
Correct.
So it was a completely different thing than
Jersey,
what was going on in Italy.
The rumor I heard was like, let's say like a Romeo's Pizza or a Tilio's Pizza. I heard like, the guy opened up a second. Then, in the 50s and 60s when that second wave of Italians, Americans came in.
The second wave was it. That's what. The second wave
is what made.
That's
when the Baker's
diaspora
Pride
means.
Go ahead.
Diaspora. So there was two diasporas. Diaspora means a mass immigration because like something's fucked up.
Yeah.
So in America, Italians, they had two. They had one that went from the 1880s to the 1920s,
Correct.
and then Mussolini takes over. That gets shut down. All right. Now World War II ends. The floodgates open back
again,
up.
correct.
And that was, your mother's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was Mikey's mother. That was.
So my father originally came here in 62 because, and then, like you said, my grandmother, my father's mother was born in 1917 in Manhattan.
And then moved back.
Once she turned 6 months, my great grandfather moved back to Italy and never came back.
That was a very common thing.
Because she was born in America, my father had the right of passage. She's an American citizen.
Yep.
She was born here. So my father originally came here, like I told you before, Joe Paolillo. His uncle. They came here together from Naples. They came by boat, literally. Not by plane.
Yeah.
On a boat called Michelangelo. So that's it. So that second wave of Italians, like we were saying before, when they came here, that's when they had, like you said, they had to pick either, okay, what am I going to do?
Right.
The dirt poor, southern, mostly all, Abruzzi and down to Sicily.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was mostly Neapolitans that came back then.
Yeah.
And the Sicilians came in that first wave.
Well, Gravesend's a very mixed neighborhood. You got Calabrese, Neapolitans, Sicilians now?
It's actually a lot of Barres.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a lot of Napolitan. 18th Avenue was all Sicilian.
Right.
But then down here,
Gravesend's like kind of that
Gravesend was a mix of all Italians.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I'm saying. I'm going to give you a good example why I think. I'm going to tell you why I think this. So the guy I was talking about, I kept on mentioning Cosenza. So that comes from my old business partner, Venanzio Pasubio. So his father had come out to America one day from Calabria. And this is before I went out and visited him in Calabria. Later on, I ended up going to his house. But Venanzio, I was working for him in the South Street Seaport at the time. He ended up becoming my business partner later on. But he was like, Nino, you got to take out my, get my father out of here, right? And, this is an epic story that this day was epic. But long story short, after a while, we end up in Gravesend, right? Now, this guy doesn't speak any fucking English. And eventually Venanzio shows up. And we're hanging out at John's place, Vinny, the old man who passed away, next to Johnny's spot. We're hanging out at the cafe. And, those guys in the back, even though they were off the boat, after they'd all been here for 30, 40 years, like all those guys. So, like, and they were, one's from one's Baresi, one's Calabrese, one's Neapolitan, one's Sicilian. But they all speak broken English, but then the dialects
Italian.
mix, and that's what Brooklino means. So when I was asking Venanzio, I was like, "Are they speaking the same language as you?" And he's like, Nino, Venanzio had the funniest way he talked because he learned how to speak English in England and then moved to New York. So he was fucking one of the funniest Italian accents ever. Venanzio was like, Nino, they speak a fucking different language. It's Brooklino. They mix the Calabrese, Neapolitan.
Yes.
Well, it's like how they say Spanglish.
Yeah, so they mix.
But worse.
And then they mix the Brooklyn dialect, the Brooklyn English dialect.
Well, you're mixing dialect. You're mixing 4 different dialects, which is probably really like 15 different dialects.
Hardest one is Barez.
Well, but the guy from Lecce speaks different from the guy from Bari, and the other guys from between from the mountains, they speak different too. So you're mixing all those things. I'll tell you, I got a perfect example of fucking Spanglish and Italian. So growing up, and I thought this was Italian growing up, but it wasn't. It was to wash our hands. My grandmother used to say washiman.
Washiman.
Yeah, but washi is not a word in Italian. That's
Because
just adding an I to wash.
Yes, so, but they were the Italian Americans. They made everything a vowel at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
They would mix it Brooklynese with Italian with their dialect, mix it to English.
Yeah, exactly.
So there are times it's still to this fucking day.
It's still
my
to this
mother
day.
Would talk to her friend they migrated together from the same town in Italy. They talk fucking English to each other.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn English.
But it's like a completely
Mixing
different
it up,
form
yeah.
of English.
So I hear her when she's on the phone. She'll be in my house tomorrow. She's be on the phone, and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, we gotta just like put a recording
There's a
device
guy
in our
on
house.
YouTube. He's fucking funny. Italian word of the
Bro.
day. Italian broken English. Italian.
Bro,
word
let's
of the
buy your mom like a fucking like stuffed animal with a camera and put a couple
Oh my
recording
God.
devices and we'll go through it and we'll just get a conversations with her
You
friends.
got to see her go at it with my kid, my middle guy, because you got the middle
I
child.
can only imagine.
Oh my God, they're hilarious. And my
I was
mother's-
gonna ask
Is
you,
your
can I
mother-
start
was your
going over
mother-
to your mother's house?
Is your mother first generation? Like my mother has mannerisms. Like when I was in trouble.
Bro, my mother's American. My mother's 100% American.
When I was in trouble, now she does it to my son. She bites her hand. You know, I'm gonna does this one. When you saw this from an Italian American, you know you were dead. This
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
That was this.
Yeah, you're
certain
gonna die.
things. You're dead. And it was whatever.
No, but it's fucking. I mean, it's our culture, and it has to be spread, and it has to be. But it's also entertaining. It's hilarious. Like I know. Growing up, like I used to, me and my boys, we'd always talk about all this stuff, and we'd
still
fucking
do.
crack up.
Still
We crack
do.
up all
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? It's just like.
It's how we were raised.
We make fun of ourselves, and we make fun of I mean, it's hilarious. I can't stop laughing. Like, when I'm around like old school guy, like Michael Vittorio's mother, like I go hang out with her. Like Mikey's like, why are you going to hang out with my mother? I was like, because it's so funny.
Yeah, but listen,
'Cause, it's
there's a
fucking
perfect
hilarious.
movie, like Saturday Night Fever. The mannerisms were there. That's what.
Oh,
that was,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a dance movie, whatnot. But when they're at the dinner table and the father smacks him in the fucking head,
Yeah.
Who raises their hands on their kids today? Like no one does that. But back in the day, you were out of line. You caught a fucking
Oh,
smack.
I caught a lot of beatings when I was a
but
kid.
do I raise my? No, you. It's just But. Back
Well,
then it
you
was.
know what I did
It
with
was
my
normal.
kid? You know what I did with my kid?
I got hit with a belt.
Yeah, because obviously we live at different times. You can't crack them like
No.
we got. And
But-
I don't
but I
blame my
wasn't
mother
child
or father
abused.
or anything.
I
don't
deserved
consider
it.
myself child abuse too, but today they would consider
Oh,
it
my
that.
God, they're called
They would-
typhus.
they would go crazy. You'd be fucking. Our parents would be in handcuffs today. Forget about it. But you know what I did with my kid? I just, when he would test me, even at like 2 or 3 years old, right? I never hit him, right? But if he did, I tell him if he started testing, doing whatever, doing what you see these like crazy kids in the fucking, from the sports games to the playgrounds to the grocery store where they're fucking flipping out. If he would do anything like that and test me like that, he'd get yoked up, right? But it's like you're just getting yoked really, really fast, right? And you got to put it in a room, but that yoking like scares you, and you're not. There's no bruises,
No.
there's no hurt, there's no pain. It's just scared.
Problem is
And
I
that's
can't
the way
catch
you
my
talk.
kids. And my oldest is fucking stronger than me.
I was a young father. I was like 23 with my first one, so hopefully I'm gonna start working out though. And now I'm trying for some more.
It's
But
easier,
yeah, I was
it's
just
easier being fat.
yoking up. He goes to the room for 20, 30 minutes. Then I go see him. And then I literally wouldn't have a problem for 6 months at a time.
No, but we didn't. Our parents didn't have to do that. You got to stare from your father. You knew you were fucked.
Oh, yeah.
It was. You didn't even have to get to that.
100%.
Then the
No.
reason why you did
Well, the
get hit
reason
because
why
you went above and beyond what you did.
The reason why I talk about this is I have a lot of cousins. I have friends that have like terrorist kids. Like I've had family members' kids like dump fucking and they're 4, 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, and they dumping water on me, trying to hit me, trying to kick me.
And the parents don't do
and
nothing.
I go, and nothing. And I'm like, and
That's
I'll grab them, and I'll say, do you know what would have? Yeah, but he's 6. I'm like, exactly.
So what?
Exactly, he's 6.
Teach him now.
Do you know what would have happened? Like, think about what would have happened to you. We grew up together.
Yeah.
Think about what would have happened to you
We're
if
gonna
you just
smack
did
across your face.
what your kid did. Go, like, I'm not saying go beat your kid, but go handle this. You got to do
But
something.
that's today's society. You know,
Well, today's society's got to change on.
Listen, when you were younger and you went home and you told your parent, the teacher yelled at me. Well, what the fuck did you do to get yelled at?
Yeah.
Now you go home, the teacher yelled at me. Yeah? Let me send an email. Why did you yell at my son? You should have did it. That's the difference.
Out of fucking control.
It's
Out of
like fucking
control.
like everybody's kid's a fucking saint. No. Well, I wasn't a saint. My father, like I said, I deserved it. I'll give you an example. I had fucking 30 kids in my house, right?
Yeah.
My father worked in cement and concrete. He was in the union. So, junior high school, 8th grade, we're cutting out. We're in my house on West 4th Street, my childhood home. We're in the, the Guinea homes had the basement downstairs. Yeah. Upstairs was the cathedral.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I should have known better. It's raining. They can't pour concrete. My father's gonna come home early. So I had the front door with the diamond glass. So we was like 30 of us cutting out. It was like 12
Cutting
o'clock.
out of school.
Cutting out of school.
You went to Lafayette, right?
I went to high school Lafayette. But this was when I was at Booty, junior high school. All of a sudden, I hear my storm door open. I see my father's face. I say, run! Everybody's running out the fucking back door. He starts coming in. He chases after my cousin, KT. He couldn't get him. Comes back in. He grabbed me by my fucking throat. He had me in the sky. Fucking threw me a bean. Is that child abuse? No, I deserved it.
No, you deserved it.
I come home from work. I got to see 30 kids in my fucking house. I'm going to kill you.
You know what? The one that I see pictures of this. The worst, one of the worst fucking offenders. My kid's my hero. Bro, are you fucking out of your fucking mind? Your kid's your hero. Like, you can be proud of your kid.
Be proud of your kid.
But my kid's my hero. Like, what are you teaching? It's not about, like, you can feel whatever way you want about anything. But what are you teaching that kid?
You should be your kid's hero.
You 100%. But what are you teaching that kid by putting him up on a pedestal like that? Like, that's not your fucking job. And you can be proud all fucking day, but you got a job to do.
You're
you
right.
know what I mean?
But even when we kids, you can't lose today?
Bro,
you got to get a trophy for losing?
Fucking believable.
You lost.
Unfucking
It's okay.
believable.
Losing makes you stronger.
I see some things where I think that might be changing in certain circles, which gives me a little bit of hope. You know what I mean?
I don't see
but that's been going on since I was a kid. I remember that when I was a kid.
Not when I was a kid.
No, not when you were a kid,
I'm
but even when I
48.
was a kid. I'm 36. Bro, they started doing that when I was fucking like 12, 13 years old.
You didn't get a fucking trophy just to show up. You had to fucking earn it. I remember one year as a kid, 12 years old, I was playing baseball. I was dying for the MVP. The team died. I didn't win it. I didn't fucking deserve it. Then did I stop bitching, crying? No.
Yeah.
Move on. Play better next year.
Play better. Exactly. Do better. And if you decide that's not your thing, maybe that's what makes you decide that's not your thing. You
Honestly,
find another fucking thing.
That's the way I'm teaching my kids, because you do an injustice. I understand that yes, you feel bad. You don't want to see your kids cry in this, but you know what? That's how we learned. Look at us.
And let me you know what drives that point home so hard is we look back, like, I know me, like, when I was catching beatings, like, I didn't feel like I deserved it, but, like, going back, it's
Now
like,
I
you
look
know
back,
what?
I deserved it.
I deserved it 100%.
Should I had 30 kids in my fucking house?
Yeah.
Drinking liquor, and then pouring fucking water back in the vodka? You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I did that at my mother's.
We embarrassed them. Hey, when they have family over?
I did that at my mother's my grandmother on my mother's side's house. And she was, bro, my grandmother on my mother's side was, my nonna was like, she was like one of the first, like, paid models, like, because that wasn't always a thing. Like, there wasn't always such thing as, like, women models. Like, she was the first version of a supermodel. She's actually, there's pictures of her in the a history of modeling textbooks in
really?
FTC, the Fashion Institute thing. Yeah, so she modeled all the way until she was like 68 years old.
Wow.
and she was a stand-up lady. Used to go to real fancy lady. Married to sanitation. Her husband, my nono, he owned a bunch of garbage trucks. He was in sanitation, but he owned all the trucks.
In Brooklyn?
Jersey and Brooklyn. Yeah, guy named Sharky. Him and Sharky.
There's a bar in Staten Island called Sharky's.
Michele Silvestri. Yeah. Yeah, so
that was my doctor.
Yeah, she
Dr.
came home
Silvestri.
early from work one day because where I went to high school in my freshman year in New Jersey was right next to her house. And
What town?
Bridgewater.
Oh, you're by
Bridgewater,
Bridgewater.
Raritan. And
A lot of Italians in that neighborhood around there.
a lot of time all over
Kenilworth.
Jersey. All over Jersey. Well, Raritan, they had that's how I ended up coming to Gravesend and Brooklyn when I was real young, because in Raritan was just this 1 mile square town, Main Street town, like just full of guys from Brooklyn. And I started working for this guy, Tommy Catalano, that was from Bat Beach and from an old crew in there. And then he used to, when we became close, he used to, I was like 15 years old, and he used to just take me into Brooklyn all the fucking time. And then I got to meet a bunch of guys over on like Cafe Romeo, and then, in
Still there.
Bensonhurst, and then
It's on 20th Avenue.
Cafe Romeo still on 20th,
Still
20th,
there.
70th, right?
Still there.
Yeah. So
My count's the cross street.
really,
That's my count.
I used to go there all the time with Tommy. I was
20
a kid.
years.
I was 15 years old. I'd be sitting in a fucking basement all night watching them fucking gamble, and I
yeah.
used to. That's why I don't gamble.
Cousin's still on East 7th. Cafe Venezia's still there.
Oh yeah. Cafe Valencia is a good place. Yeah. I can't believe those places are still there. I thought they were all gone.
That's it. It's really it.
Yeah, there's a
really it.
well, there's a soccer club over on.
There used to be one next to Peter Pete's. It's still there.
Yeah, there's one I went to
Stillwell?
recently. Yeah. Stillwell and Bay. No,
Oh,
not.
there's the other one by John's
The one that's
Deli.
like on Bay 41st.
Bay 45.
It says soccer something. There's a
No, that's Stillwell Avenue. Soccer Sports. Stillwell Soccer
yeah, but what's
Sports.
across street? Is it Bay?
No, Highlone Avenue. Highlone and Stillwell.
No, different place.
Bay.
Different place. It's like soccer something. It's like soccer whatever, or it's like something soccer club. It's an old school spot. It's
I don't remember. Bay 40.
I'm trying to fucking Google this shit like it's gonna pop up on Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think these guys are registered on Google.
No.
But yeah, man, it's my grandmother, she came home. I never saw a look like that in my fucking life. Like she was, and we were
water
doing
in
what
the
you just
vodka.
said. Yeah, because she didn't fucking like go in her liquor cabinet and drink. Her liquor cabinet
She would
was
go
fucking
out when
whatever.
you had company over.
Yeah.
And then you're pouring fucking water.
Yep.
That's what got me another beating.
Yep. Hey, man, sometimes you got to catch a beating.
You do.
Sometimes you got to catch a beating. So what's what are you like? What were some of your favorite pizzerias in like the surrounding neighborhoods that you grew up with, and like and why?
Well,
I loved Bad Boys Pizza. That was my
like
favorite.
Bad Boys?
I loved
That's-
Bad Boys.
that was,
my favorite spot.
That was on 86th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bad Boys.
Mario and Sal.
Yeah, I remember Bad Boys. I mean, who do I like? I loved L&B. I love their squares.
So L&B, I hear different things from different people in the community. Like, I don't mind L&B at all. I think L&B is a great slice. But a lot of people say, some people say it changed. I hear a lot of, I've heard this more than once from guys where they'll be like, listen, L&B was never the best pizza in the fucking neighborhood and this and that. The reason everybody would hang out at L&B is because they had the fucking outside. So when you're a kid, you get to see who's who, and it's like, Vanessa's
that's
like hanging out with
partially
these mumos over here, and that's why it was
absolutely
always
because you had
packed back
but
in
they
the
did
day.
have the best fucking spumoni. All those picnic
the
tables
Spumoni's
outside,
hands down.
triple park cars, music playing. So yeah, I could believe that 100%. It was during the summer when you're 16, 15, 17.
Right.
There was girls everywhere.
And then if you're older,
So,
if
yeah.
you're in your 20s, you're looking at, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
To see
But
what's
then-
going on.
Then Totone's, Totone's in Coney Island I loved.
The Tonos, I think, is the best. They're closed down, but I think they're the best of the old school.
Back in the old days, the old man didn't give a fuck.
The
who he
pizza
was.
Nazi.
I remember exactly. Not that many people know.
Yeah,
I remember
Jerry.
I walked in there with a knockaround guy, and he didn't give a fuck. He says, "You gotta wait," and that's it. Everybody waited. That's just the way he was, the old man. There was another place, Neil's Pizza on 20th. It was on 85th Street. That was really fucking good. Good round pie.
Neil's.
That's
a weird name for a pizzeria.
His name is probably Agnello.
Yeah, right.
You know, who else? Had good pizza. In like our neighborhood. Yeah, Pizza Park had a good square.
Okay.
The old Pizza Park where Fat Joe had it. Who else? Tony's. Before that became Johnny's. Tony's had good pizza.
Wait, hold on. Mute for 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So those are the old pizzerias. Oh, you know who's had good? Believe it or not, the bakeries used to have good pizza.
So they had that's. I mean, I've been looking into this for a while now. I haven't been looking into it in a like hardcore way. I've been doing it in a roundabout way.
A fucking good square.
The squares. So here's a little like history. So they have this like all over. They have this from Buffalo to Pittsburgh.
Bakeries.
Yeah. So it's like an old school thing. So
Probably
you know how it was
didn't
like.
want to throw out the dough, right?
No, it actually it's older than that. So it comes from the old Sicilian bakers trying to make like a version of Sficcioni. So Sficcioni is the grandfather of Sicilian pizza and Detroit style pizza, but like Sficcioni.
No pizza. I mean, no cheese.
So
was it breadcrumbs? That's what Sicily.
So a traditional in Sicily Sficcioni is caciocavallo or primo sale cheese. Now this is Palermo style. There's a Bagheria style too, which is different.
Palermo.
That's a white one. But the Palermitano Sficcioni is caciocavallo or primo sale cheese.
Cascaval.
Very onion rich. It's not even a marinara.
Yes.
It's like half onions, half tomatoes sauce cooked down for like 4 to 8 hours, right?
Yes, it's
but
onions.
it's like all onions.
But there is cheese. So there's cacio and primo sale?
So caciocavallo primo sale, then the sauce with all the onions in it that's cooked, but then cooled. Then that's on top, and then breadcrumbs and pecorino and oregano and anchovy. Anchovy on the bottom.
Anchovy, I remember.
The anchovies on the bottom, so you don't even see the anchovies. So it's kind of like a
anyway.
Caesar salad. You know what I mean? But like some people,
who makes that?
when they go to the rosticceria, well, nobody. That's why it's a grand. That's why Sicilian pizza is a grandson of it. So, but in Palermo, it's on every block. So when you go to the rosticceria, you can even ask for extra anchovies on top because there's only like a couple pieces. So what happened was the Sicilian immigrants after the second diaspora started coming over after World War II. Now they had their grandmother, grandfathers, or whoever's mother, father Sficcioni recipes. Now pizza's taken off, and a lot of Sicilians get into the pizza game like the New York style pizza game, but they want to bring something from their home. So back then, how do you get caciocavallo and primo sale? Like maybe you could get it, yeah.
It's expensive.
Now you can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
But back then, forget about it. Like you couldn't get it in bulk. What you need to run a business for sure. Maybe you could get a little bit from a specialty guy, but so they were like, oh, okay, the pizza works. So they just did mozzarella on the bottom, the sauce on top, and this is the beginning of the Sicilian pizza. The upside down is the original American version of the Sficcioni, because with the Sficcioni, the cheese is always on the bottom, the sauce is on top. So now, why did they put breadcrumbs?
I don't know.
Because they were poor. Because you can't waste anything. So now in America, compared to what they were, they're rich. And this is where the breadcrumbs start going out the window. And it's like, no, we could just put pecorino on top, and we could put more. So L&B is like, they're open in 1954, which the timing lines up, right? This is 9 years after no, even less. Because so World War II is over in 1945. Mm-hmm. Now you have the Am Lira. It took a few years before they started letting Italians come into America again, because like the whole country was fucking destroyed. Immigration was all fucked up. They were still working out the politics of what was going on. You know, America had to replace the money. It was called, you know, remember the lira when you were a kid. After World War II, it was called the AM lira, AM for America.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the Mussolini money wasn't worth anything anymore.
Oh, yes, okay,
so
yeah.
The Americans brought the AM lira, and they just started handing out bread and food and this and that.
They stormed through my town.
Huh?
They're both, the Germans and the Italians came through my town.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Remember the Bay of Salerno.
Yeah. All of them.
AM lira. So you're saying that's the timeline matches. That's why the old man Lenny from LMB created that square.
I mean, you got to imagine, like, obviously we're using some imagination, and maybe there's some people we can talk to about this that we haven't talked to, but, I mean, it matches
I like
up.
Dominic DeFaro.
Oh, yeah, Dominic's great. Dominic's amazing.
I remember the first time I went there was, I think, 1992. Holy shit, it was like 92. I was dating a girl in that area. Right off Avenue J. She's like, "Oh, let's go try this pizza." But it wasn't like, you didn't have to wait back then.
Yeah, it also was like regular cheese and everything. It wasn't all the fresh mozzarella and everything.
But the square was back then.
Oh, we had fresh mozzarella on the square?
It wasn't the grande cheese that they use now. Whatever it was, who knows? And I remember it was fun. And he had a full kitchen.
Yeah. He used to do shrimp parmesan.
Yeah.
He used to do bacala on Sundays. Bro, shrimp parmesan, veal parmesan, chicken.
Street.
Did he?
Yeah, he lived on West
I had no idea.
So I remember that was another great pizza. And then, who else? That's it. Yeah, I think I've tried everybody. Like today's, the new guys, I didn't try many. I mean, I've tried Mark because I know Mark as a kid. We grew up in Bay Ridge. Mark Iacano from Lucali's. I didn't try Baby Luke's.
How did you know Mark back in the day?
He was from downtown, but he had friends from my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, Bay Ridge.
Just hanging out? Where would you hang out?
We'd hang out in Legacy, going out to. We had mutual friends.
Yeah.
Remember, downtown Brooklyn had friends in my neighborhood.
Sure.
Going out, became a lot of mutual friends, girls and boys. We became friends, and he reached out to me too. I tell you, a lot of people reached out to me when I was sick. A lot of people didn't know that when they did find out, either they text me, hit me up in direct message. I didn't even know. Hope you're doing well. You need anything? A lot of guys stepped up.
How did they know? Through like Instagram or something?
Yeah, what I would post because in the beginning, I also want to bring awareness to my disease. Right. So I would post, and people do want to know what's going on. So I always put updates, and a lot of guys reached out. A lot of people I never even met in the industry reached out from all over.
We're living in I think the greatest time in the history of the pizza industry and to communicate. Well, one of the biggest things now is I'm able to communicate with guys that are doing new and exciting things that don't speak English in Aversa, Avellino, Caserta, Napoli. You know what I mean? And all over the world and all over everywhere. And it's just between Google Translate and everything else. Once you're at a certain level, we have a respect for each other and we share and we try to take it to the next level
together. We're all great in our own ways.
Yeah.
We all made it to a certain level that it's fucking hard to get up to where we are.
No, yeah.
And I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm very humble. I am. I came, I wasn't as busy in Brooklyn as I am now, But I did
didn't
well
even
in Brooklyn.
bring this up, but I know, yeah, it's scary. It's scary going to a different place, but I mean, you made the best move you could have possibly made
for me, absolutely.
Because when you moved out, the neighborhood was.
I moved out at the perfect time because the graph went this way.
And you.
And no offense to the people that moved in, they don't eat. They don't take out.
No offense to anybody, and even no offense. Listen, I'm not naming names. I'm not saying anybody by name. I never will. Okay, but listen, when I go around the Ocean County, Monmouth County pizza scene, the vast majority, and there's a lot of pizzerias, and a lot of them are even owned by fucking paisans and this and that. And if you guys ever want to help, if you guys ever want to step up your game, DM me, give me a call. I'd be happy to fucking help. But bro, it's fucking sad. And I don't know for whatever reason, but like the quality at a lot of these spots it's not good.
Because they're worried about the bottom line. They don't realize invest in yourself and your product.
And people will pay.
People will pay.
Yeah.
If you do it right,
also,
if it's there, they'll.
Bro, it's not that hard to. Listen. All right, we got fucking supercomputers in our pockets. Like, there's no excuse anymore.
No.
That's where I start going the other direction, where it's like, bro, don't give me excuses anymore, because you don't have to go around like I did. And this wasn't the only thing I did to get to where I am as far as quality. Like, I also one of the biggest things that happened to me was one day a light bulb went off in my head, and I was just like, I know how to make fresh mozzarella. I know how to source good tomatoes. I know how to even source good mozzarella. Doe's the alchemy. Why am I spending 3 months, 4 months at these pizzerias trying to learn everything good and bad that I can? Why don't I start looking at artisanal bakers? They don't deal with anything else but flour, salt, yeast, and water.
That's it.
That's all they deal with.
That's it.
So, and then buying Chad Robertson's book, Tartine Bread, put me down this path where I went back into the competitions and I just mopped everybody up. And this was before anybody was talking about fermentation methods and pre-ferments and hydration.
How many
Nobody
good
was talking
bakeries
about
are
it.
left?
Huh?
That didn't go commercial.
Well, now there's a whole resurgence in the artisanal baking community. I'm not talking about old school Italian bakers. I'm talking about these new guys that are coming out that are, like Tartine Bread, Chad Robertson. He's one of the godfathers of this shit. He's from San Francisco. Now you got a bunch of guys. Now you got I got his book too. The guy in downtown Brooklyn, Zachary. Forget his last name, but Zachary's got
But old school Italian, there's only a few left. Really, we got Mazzolas.
Well, there's not many left, and the problem with them is
Lard bread is killer over there.
Oh yeah, of course, but they these guys are going into the really old school thing. Now, what I feel
Who
like
would have thought to put lard and flour?
the old school
side.
peasant fucking
Exactly.
Italians. Now, here's another big fucking misconception in Italian culinary heritage, bro. Maybe 5% of the population back in the day was using olive oil for anything.
No, it's too expensive.
Not only is
Even
it
on the other side.
you had to live next to an olive oil thing, and it wasn't trusted when you were outside of that because people used to mix it up like they do with everything.
course.
They used to cut it. So what did 95% of the population use for cooking? Pork lard. Pork lard. And that's why you hear about it so much in these old school recipes, but you don't think of it about that. And then butter was for the rich of the rich. Good olive oil was for the rich of the rich. And then there were towns that had olive oil groves with mills where within that 2 miles they would use olive oil.
My mother
because it was
growing
right
up,
there.
her father had that stuff.
She had that.
but
yeah.
because she had a piece of land that had her olive trees that are 200 years
And
old.
they probably had a mill
And they
a
made-
mile
yes,
away.
They had a mill for flour.
Yep.
'Cause remember, we're southern Italy in the mountains. They had all of that. I mean,
Well, they were basically probably homesteaders instead of
Exactly.
sharecroppers.
my mother told me, because I forgot how it came
So
up.
your
one
mother
time.
was in. If your mother was in, and because I like to talk.
My grandmother worked in fucking Battipaglia.
What
My
is that?
mother's mother. Battipaglia is where the tomatoes are grown.
Oh, okay.
And one time Sophia Loren was shooting a movie and she met her. My grandmother,
In
my
the
mother.
60s.
I gotta no. Yeah, maybe 50s or 60s. Yeah, I gotta ask my mother.
I mean, her first movie was, I think, that Gold of Naples. Laura
whatever it was,
Laura
I gotta ask
DiNapoli.
my mother.
Laura, you ever see
But-
that where she plays the pizza maker?
Yeah, I've done
Laura
that. All the
DiNapoli?
Mario Marola movies. That's all that my parents watched.
That was in 54.
So my mother told me, I was like, so how'd you make soap? They made their own fucking soap.
Oh, of course. They had to.
Own soap.
They had to. Bro, you're in the mouth. There's no... See, this is what we fuck up now because we live over here. We buy a bag of flour, we're like, no fucking problem. You know how hard it was to get a bag of flour? And you couldn't... There was no such thing.
So my mother's... And on my mother's, there's a piece of
look.
property.
Laura DiNapoli, 1954.
I gotta
That was her
my
first
mother.
movie.
That's got to be it then. My
She
mother...
did it all in that area.
There's my mother, well, not my uncle has it's his property. My uncle's property, and it still has the fucking mill where the donkeys just walk around
Yep.
with 3 wheels, crushing
Put
the
a
wheat.
carrot in front of his head.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that long ago either, if you think about it.
Now, here's what you got to think about, because that's how they milled wheat back then. You know how long it takes to mill a bag?
I've never, God
Bro,
knows.
it's fucking forever. And then you have to sift it and do all this other shit.
And then
now
she had a chest in the house in
Now-
the basement filled with flour.
Now you got a guy who works for. Now let's talk about before the Piedmontese took over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's not to get things confused. Now you got a guy from the what were they called? The Spanish Baroni. Or now I'm fucking up my shit. Who the fuck? What was the name of the family? All right, whatever that Spanish name family was that owned the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. Kingdom of Two Sicilies. Now there's a guy, right? And it's goon shit, right? There's a guy who's his cousin who's the boss of that, right? Now he's got some knights, right? He's got some guys that are his fucking goons, and they live in the little castle in the fucking town. And then you got fucking flour, right? You pull all the meat over, or you put all the wheat over there, and then they collect all the white flour. And what the fuck do they give you? They give you, if you try to make whole wheat flour, the bourbons. Why am I fucking that up? Yeah. So the bourbon, his cousin's got this fucking guy, and then they're coming to you, and then they're like, hey, we're here to fucking collect all the fucking flour. Now you're left with, it's not 100% whole wheat flour. So when you take a wheat seed, what is it? 20% of it, no, 70% of it's the endosperm, the white part, right? 30%, or a little under 30% is the outer coating, which is the bran, which was the thing that makes whole wheat. And then 0.01% is the wheat germ. Now, what they're doing is they're taking 100% of the white flour. Now, instead of it being 30 to 70, they're giving you like a 70 to 30 mix of bran and white flour and germ, right? And that's what the peasants get. And what they make out of that, it's called black bread, right? Now, if we go up and we mix 100% stone ground like King Arthur flour or whatever, bro, the bread that we make out of that 100% whole wheat and that 70 to 30, it's heavy. It can be dense if you don't know what's going on. Now, you flip that number and you make 70 bran and whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like they called it black bread back in the day. And you know what they used to do with it?
No.
They used to cut it. They used to cook it. They cut it up because most of the people over there. Now, your family was probably homesteaders, which was about 10% of the population. But like 5% of the population was working for the nobility and the aristocracy. So, they were good because they could trade with each other and, they got extra privileges, right? Then you had 10% were homesteaders and, they'd have to pay the little tax, but they would pay off the tax man, so they'd have more. The rest of everybody were fucking peasantry and sharecroppers. Now, it was supposed to be a 50-50 split, but that's not how it really worked out because there's no such thing as police, right?
No, not then.
So what would happen is whoever the Bourbons, the Bourbon King's Duke nephew who's running your little town and he's got his little fucking crew, when they say they want this, and this, and you say no, they'll fucking break your teeth out of your head, rape your daughter and your wife, and there's nobody for you to complain to. No. You understand?
And it's funny because my town has a castle.
That's where they lived.
It had the moat.
Oh, yeah.
So my town was built, I think, in the 700s by the Greeks for the princes of Naples.
Makes sense.
So,
not the Greeks. You know who it was? The Byzantines.
Well, no, it was the Greeks.
The Byzantines were the Greeks.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Because there's an actual church in my town. It's not in use because of the earthquake in 81. It's called San Maria del Greco, Saint Mary of Greece.
So the Byzantine, what we call now the Byzantine Empire, and we didn't start, that's a whole nother story. We didn't start.
The Byzantine were the Greeks. Wow.
The Byzantine were the Greeks. So what happened was you had the Roman Empire, 325 AD, Constantine makes Constantinople, which is where Istanbul in Turkey is, the capital of the Roman Empire. 463, I think, Western Roman Empire falls. But the Eastern Roman Empire with the capital that was both. And you know, there was a time where they were divided, whatever. Went on until the Ottomans took it over in 1600s.
Fucking interesting, huh?
1600s, you know. So, and they considered themselves Roman, but they spoke Greek, and they owned that whole area. So anytime you hear Greek between the years 200 AD, 300 AD, all the way to the 1600s, late 1600s or mid 1600s, you're talking about the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire.
Yeah.
Who called themselves not Greeks but Romans. They spoke what we talk today
it's
Greek.
Cool. We also have the oh my God, the church. The what do they call? What's that church with they wore the white with the red cross?
I don't know.
Knights Templar.
Really?
There's a church in my town, and a Knights Templar church, and
Get
it's
the
right
fuck out of here.
behind. That was the church for the.
See, this right. See, something like that might not even be like something that historians and people study that like even know.
So-
because you're saying you're from some like crazy town in the fucking mountains,
I'm telling you.
right?
So we had the Knights Templar, and it's a big thing in my town now every year.
They dress up like that?
Yeah, they still do now. Like
Jesus
it's
Christ,
crazy.
we might have to look into this,
And the
bro.
church is called San Catarina, the Knights Templar church. The church is dismantled. I mean, it was probably built in who knows when.
But they do like a Saints Day where they dress up like them?
Yeah, inside you go inside the castles. There's actually a museum, and
Really?
in Caggiano, where I'm from, Caggino.
That's Johnny's last name now?
So you know the story behind last names in Italy, right? If your last name, and this was I was told by multiple people, even in Italy, if your last name is the name of a town or a city, like some people's last name is Tony, like Fat Tony Solano,
Right.
or your last name is Anthony Napoli,
Yeah.
right, whatever. Someone in your family was an orphan, lived in the
Okay.
streets, and they gave you the name of the town or the city, wherever you are.
Okay.
So if your last name is Caggiano, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're from that fucking town. I don't care if you said you were born in Milan,
Right.
but your roots are Caggiano, Italy.
You have to be from that
yeah,
town.
because someone in your family was an orphan, and they gave you the last name of the town.
Now, was that like looked down upon or maybe no?
I'm sure.
Maybe it
back
changed
in
throughout
the-
time.
Now it isn't, but back in the times, I'm sure it was.
Well, maybe even like in you know not back when, but you know when you came over there, maybe it was even a sign like, oh, this isn't somebody to be trifled with or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe.
Could be something.
You know, if some people just got fucked when they came to Ellis Island. Everybody
Because they didn't speak English, and then it was just
That's another thing, but
that's like that Godfather 2
Yeah,
thing.
it's just-
Yeah,
but there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people that just change their names. They're embarrassed to be Italian.
So your name. So what's the Johnny's your mother's?
So Johnny's, hold on, let me get this right. Johnny's grandmother, is it Johnny's grandmother? Johnny's grandmother was my no. Hold on. Because Johnny's father and my father are second cousins. So Johnny's father and my grandfather were, Johnny's father and my grandfather were, okay, so my great-grandfather and Johnny's grandmother were brother and sister. That's how.
Your
my
great-grandfather
great-grandfather and Johnny's grandmother were brother and sister.
All right. On that note, I gotta take a quick piss, but I'm confused right now. We're gonna have to draw like a dope chart or
Well,
something.
I gotta go too now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's end this here. It's been a while. Are we at the 3-hour mark? Probably. Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna get out of here, but thanks for joining in.
Oh, thank you for
check
having
out.
me,
No,
man.
thank you so much for coming. Yeah, guys, check out Peter at Brooklyn Square Pizza. And yeah, bro, best of luck. Thank you so much for coming. This
Thank
has been
you.
amazing,
It's
bro.
great.
You brought me back to the day.
We had fun.
You brought me
It was
back to one of the best
3
times
hours
of my
like
life.
this.
Yeah, that's it.
good. We just watched Godfather 1.
It goes quick. If you showed up earlier, we would have been here for 6. Peter's going to come back. This is just
All
part
right.
1.
Thank you, everyone. Not bad. How do we do?